Hello everybody, it's hot. It's really, really hot. I don't know if anyone's told you, it's really warm outside. And you're here for the hottest event of the summer. It's the Path to the Playoffs, the inaugural tournament of the new format of the FM Playoffs. I'm Giroud, and you joined me tonight for the draft where 8 of the best managers around try to draft a team and get to the main playoffs final. I'm joined by 3 of my finest colleagues, and here they are. First of all, let's start off with my friend and yours, Mr. The Funny Guy 2.0. I think that's what we're going to go with this time. It's a Rich Owens. You've got a podcast as well, haven't you, to plug? Let's get this out of the way now.
Yeah. It's called 4-Star Potential. It's doing quite well. I rate it very highly. Yeah. Also, the Looking at Player Centre with Rich, because host of other podcast, try to steal my job. On a serious note, I think we're the 64th best podcast in video games in the country. Look at us go. Have that, other podcasts.
Fantastic.
That will show them. Yeah.
And then below me directly, I am so happy to be on the panel with this gentleman. I haven't had the honour before, but United City FM, been a big fan of your streams, big fan of your community. Welcome in. How's your day going?
Thank you. Warm, but all good. Thank you very much. Really looking forward to the next couple of hours, seeing how the draft goes. I have been on Rich's podcast. It is amazing, and it should be higher than the 60-something position it is already in. And I categorically deny that I'm in for his job. I refuse to admit that live on a stream. But yeah, it's all good. I'm really happy to be here. Let's have some fun. It'll be good fun.
And finally, he's joined me on a panel a few times. I think someone's beat him up before the stream, or something's happened over the weekend. It is How We Roll Owen. Owen, how are you? I'm going to call you Owen today because I do feel a little bit sorry for you.
There we go. I'm pretty good. It was 2 people, not just one. And also, I haven't been on Rich's podcast, and I refer to it as Rich's podcast, which is better than most guests, to be fair. No, I'm really good. I'm excited. It's kind of the first new launch of the merged playoffs and wasted possession. A whole new format for us, so excited. And also the weather's broken here in Ireland today, so it's fantastic. I'm a cool 20-something degrees, so happy.
Well, yeah, I think let's start off with that. The most important thing, did you all get your complimentary Path to the Playoffs water bottle, or was it just me? Yeah. It's more about keeping cool. Obviously, Rich is using the British way with Stella Artois. And I think it is important that people are hydrating, got all the fans on, everything on that side of things. Our guys between us, they may call for a drinks break. They may just disappear off camera for a couple of minutes. We're going to run it that way. We're going to be quite free-flowing throughout the evening. But in terms of this format, Kev, how excited do you find it?
Oh, fantastic. It's going to be amazing, isn't it? Bringing lots of people together over a few-week period to crown an ultimate champion for this particular season of the playoffs, the path to the playoffs, and brand new kind of aspect to what we do here. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to seeing the 8 guys that we've got in today's draft and Friday's matches get going and seeing how we go. But yeah, it's fantastic. Bringing the community together, playing some Football Manager. What could be better?
Yeah, and I appear to be going really out of focus, either that or it's sweating that much so I can't actually see the screen that well. So, Rich, as a previous playoffs competitor, how do you find this format into coming into it now?
I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I think it's an opportunity. There's a lot of people who are taking part, in tonight's group especially. You've got guys that are making, it's the first time they've played any PvP in over a year. You've got guys in there who are making their, competitive tournament debut tonight. I think this merger, wasted possession and the FM playoffs coming together, it's going to give so many creators the opportunity to kind of, make a name for themselves in PvP FM football. And I think the wider the community gets, the more people we get to see, the more characters we get to know, it can only make the community stronger. So I'm excited.
And Owen, as the self-proclaimed villain of the community, what's your thoughts on this?
I was self-forgetting. That was the FM21 when I was winning stuff. FM22, I'm like, it's a redemption arc I'm coming back on. I really like the new format. It's a really good mix. You'll see our format. We're going kind of with the competitive rankings thing. It's ranking based in terms of the draft order and stuff. So it's definitely something new and different and interesting compared to what Wasted Possession was or what the old playoffs was. It's sexy as hell. Jeb and the backroom team, the graphics guys have done a crazy job. And it's exciting. It's something new and different, and anyone can get in, you know, as long as you can keep your camera working and not overheating in 45-degree heat or whatever it is in the UK.
Okay, so that's me out. Thanks. It just cements my thing as I'll never take part in a competitive draft ever again. I was on the Super League panel last night. I didn't get to compete, you know, it's one of those things. I'm not bitter. You are. Right, anyway, let's go talk about that new format. So we have the Path to the Playoffs 1 and the Path to the Playoffs 2. The top 4 from each of these qualify, and they will go into the main playoffs, which is exactly the same format as last time. Only the people who got to the semi-finals from the last tournament get automatic qualification, and then there are 2 special invited guests. So top 4 from each group. So it's quite simple to get through, but it's difficult at the same time. It's 7 games, a league format now. We are not going with what we had last time. It's not best knockouts or finalists or anything like that. The qualifiers are the top 4 in a 7-game format, which the playoffs hasn't done before since last time. Really, we did it in the qualifier. It went all right. It went down to the wire, but it was only the top 2 that qualified that way. How easy is it to get through? How isn't it easy to get through? This is terrible English from myself, but there we are. Kev, please take over to me, save me, because I'm going to hydrate because somebody's asked for that in chat.
I was involved in a recent draft competition, not the playoffs, another one that had a similar 8-team structure, for a couple of which go through to later rounds, etc. And it was the closest group I've ever seen. There were people that were missing out from like 1st to 5th, 6th. It was like 3 points, I think, something like that. And it's incredibly tricky if you just happen to find one of those groups. Of course, somebody can always pull away and get an easy win, potentially with a couple of early wins, but it can be really, really tricky. You've got to hit the ground running and kind of hope that momentum keeps you going through.
Yeah, lovely. And Rich, what's your thoughts? You were with me on the league format last season. I think there was Zanko missed out last game. It was various others as well. Dave Goodger, actually, he missed out last game as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Kev hit the nail on the head with momentum. It's all about momentum in a group tournament. It gives you the opportunity to pick it up, you know, with a 2-legged knockout, you know, if 2 unfortunate results and you're out of the entire competition. Whereas with the group stages and the league format, it gives you the chance to, you know, build that momentum, and you can still have the opportunity, even if you have a bit of a stinker, games 1 or 2, it still gives you the opportunity to catch up, and it still gives you the opportunity to qualify. So I'm all about it. You know, you get the drama, like you say. You had people like Zanko you had Zanko causing drama. You had Cozza Bob, who was there or thereabouts. Willy won't he the whole way through. People like Dave Goodyer. It's from an audience point of view. It's just more exciting. I'm here for it. I rate it very, very highly. Also, because it's more than likely somebody's going to have an absolute stinker and just lose every game. And that's just going to be funny.
Hi, Stick Piano. Sorry, just call out from yesterday. The tactics technician went out 3 losses in a row. Anyway, Owen, we can't reveal them. I was just going to say, we can't reveal them, but how excited are you to see these invitees in the actual playoffs?
It's exciting. We've a lot of people out there canvassing, bribing, doing what they can to get some of the biggest names, some exciting names. Even in the Path to Playoffs, we've big names. So the invitees we have coming for it online, you better believe they're bigger, more impressive. Sometimes the bigger creators aren't always the most, you know, impressive in terms of winning records, but they're always entertaining. So it's going to be exciting.
Lovely stuff.
Check out the Twitter.
Now let's plug. Yes. Yeah, they will be coming soon. Now let's go over the rules and stipulations from today. So it's a £300 million budget. It's 20 picks in total. We've extended the picking time to 2 minutes to allow people to hydrate, go for a pee, all the various things that happen when you take on a lot of water and with the extreme heat. Maybe fill up that bucket of water that's underneath the table that you got your feet in. Yeah, it's along those lines. So that's where we are. There's no limits on pick per league. So obviously from last time we had our crazy four countries, 5 picks. It's snake drafts. The order's based on the FM rankings, and it's picks from the Premier League, Ligue 1, La Liga, the Championship, Serie A, Bundesliga, Primera Liga, and the Eredivisie. What do you think of this draft pool? Start with you. We'll go back to you, Owen.
I think for the first one, we've left it very open. It's as close to a World League without being a World League. And I guess Moz is a Zealand fan because he wanted Dominic Solanke in because we have the Championship as well. No, it's the top 8 leagues. I think for the first one, it gives everyone a chance to just show no tricks, no weird draft pools, nowhere to hide. Just come out and show what you've got in terms of a pretty much straight up draft. So,
lovely stuff. Kev, what about yourself? You've been in a lot of these competitions.
Yeah, I mean, it's on first viewing, it is a fairly straightforward draft. 20 picks, couple of minutes each pick, which is great. A good amount of players to choose from across a multiple amount of leagues. But then you got the budget, and the budget is the thing. 300 million sounds like a lot when you start, and halfway through sometimes isn't as much as you think. And so it's about budgeting properly through that. Are you going to go big early with a big name player that's going to cost you a lot of your budget, or are you going to go for the budgety options early, etc.? There's a lot to play with there, but it is the budget, I think, that could unstick a couple of people, maybe, if anything's going to.
And Rich, I think there's a fair few frauds at the top of that budget they can avoid. We'll come to those later. But what would your strategy be with that £300 million budget?
For me, and I've talked about it pretty much every drafting panel I've ever been on, my draft strategy is always go big early. I would have, based on this pool, there are enough game-changing players in there for you to pick up somebody. You could make the argument everybody's first round pick, there's going to be somebody in there who's available that is in some way, shape, or form going to have the ability to change a game for somebody. Go big early on one of them, pick up one of those big players, and then draft accordingly afterwards. I know everybody's been shortlisting. It's a pool everyone's familiar with. There's some drafting pedigree in there tonight. So a lot of the people that are drafting are going to be very familiar with a lot of the players available. They're going to have pretty comprehensive shortlists. So go big early, get that big name player, get that marquee signing, and then depending on who it is you pick up, draft accordingly. And I think everybody's got enough tactical nous to be able to do that this evening. So we should be in for it's going to be a competitive draft section. It's not often you get to say that.
Yeah, definitely. And I've taken a big sip of water because I've now got to say 8 names in a row. Can I do it? Let's find out.
I believe in you, man. So, I believe in you.
Yeah, this is it. This is our field for tonight. Viking Dan, Credo, M Breezy, Dupe, Stinger, Murph FM, Tim Lewis, and last but not least, H2. So there's our field. Obviously, we can start really simply with H2O. Please hydrate, definitely. But he's a complete newcomer to all drafts. To be fair, he's got no ranking experience or anything at all. He's completely new. He's almost part of the playoffs ethos of bringing in someone new. If your stream's good enough, you're good enough. I think that's the way we said about things. What's your experience with him before Owen?
To be honest with you, I'll hold my hand up here. We've people going out scouting. We all kind of recommend new people, and he wasn't on my radar until he came up in our chat. And he just has a great personality and vibe in his streams. Canadian guy, enjoys his Football Manager, has fun with it. It's hard to get a feel for how someone's going to be in a draft based on their single player game. Like it's eventually just figure out the game to a certain extent. But I do think, just based on the confidence he has in stream and stuff, I don't think the occasion will get to him. Like, if you're someone who's streaming in FM and you watch FM, playing with guys like Stinger, Breezy, Dan, who are on the lowdown, Dupe, who's on 5-star potential, he's also on the lowdown. It's a big group for your first group to be playing with. But I think he'll be okay. He comes across as a confident guy. He knows about soccer when he's like speaking about it. He also probably calls it soccer like I do before someone in chat calls it out. I'm really excited to see how he does. And I think he'll cause an upset or two.
Yeah, lovely. Rich, have you had much experience with H2 coming as a newcomer? I guess kind of your blessing when you came in, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Quite similar to Owen in that respect. You know, it wasn't a name that was massively on my radar beforehand. But the one thing I can say is, just based on this image, he's chosen to throw out the Ronaldinhos, which straight away just makes me think that he's a contender to win the entire thing. So more power to him.
Oh, the younger audience definitely think they're the Griezmanns. That's the saddest thing. I think they're Ronaldinho as well. They think it's the Fortnite dance that Griezmann did in the World Cup like 4 years ago. Oh.
Yeah, and it's such a mixed field, Kev. It's hard to pick a winner out, I think, more than anything else. I think there's quite a lot of experience. There's even like Tim Lewis, who's down there at 61 in the rankings. He's won the Summer Cup last week, so he's already beat quite some significant others getting there as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about FM in this kind of context, isn't it? That anybody on a day can show up and do something. And it could be any of these 8 people that finish in the top 4 and get through on Friday evening. It really could. But it all starts tonight. And it starts with a really figured out way of what you're going to draft and why you're going to draft it and what that's going to look like for you on Friday evening. And of course, H2, being the newcomer, has also got pick 1. And so that sets him going really, really well very early, which is fantastic for him. So, yeah, let's see what happens. But you're right. I mean, anybody at this point could do amazingly well or not so. And that's the great thing about drafting.
Yeah, lovely stuff. And let's have a little bit of a deeper dive into the players themselves, starting with Viking Dan. If you give me one moment, there we are. Lovely. So I'll come to you, Kev, straight away on this one. So... Draft position number 8. He's a former champ. He couldn't compete last time, so he's undefeated still. He's got a win percentage of 53% in all drafts, and he's the number 1 ranked player in the world.
Apparently so, yeah. And immediately that's what my eyes go to. This guy is number 1 for a reason. And it's not just about the fact that he was successful last time he competed here on the playoffs. He's done some other competitions as well and done very well there. This guy, for me, is the one to beat at this point. He talks the talk on things like the lowdown, but he's also proved now that he can walk the walk. Can he do it again today? I believe in Dan. I think he's tactically astute enough, and I think he's knowledgeable enough about what he needs to be doing to win stuff. I expect big things from him.
Yeah, definitely. And then on to next. Me and Rich had a lot of fun a couple of months ago. Credo. Big Sam Credo. He has nailed that pose down perfectly. He's draft position 7. He's won the draft club a couple of times. I think he's also won Road to Legends. He qualified in semi-finals. We wrote him off to start off with, and he just got better and better and more entertaining as it went on. PvP win percentage 50%, and he's FM ranked number 15. So, talk to us about Credo.
I mean, what can you say? He's always given a very, very good account of himself in PvP. Like you say, he's won Draft Club, he's won other competitions. I think just in terms of pure entertainment value, in those qualifiers, you couldn't look past him. Every single game was a banger. There were comebacks. Was it a 6-5? I think he was involved in at one point, or there was some obscene scoreline. Great games from the neutral. But clearly has a bit about him in terms of his PvP. So, in terms of his appearances in he's had a qualifier for the playoffs. He's not made it to the main show yet, but I don't think there's any reason that, should we see him there should we see him top 4 come Friday after the games? There's no reason he can't give a good account of himself in the main competition and surprise a few people. I think he's got enough about him to do that. So definitely one to keep an eye on. And to be fair, whoever took that photo of him in a chip shop looking at the menu deserves just so impressed. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, Credo gets it. I respect that enormously.
Lovely. And then next up is Mbreezy, draft position number 6. He's only played the playoffs once, but he reached the final in November 21. 57% win percentage, ranking number 16. I've not seen him in too many drafts, to be fair. Owen, what's your take on him?
You've hit it nail on the head. He doesn't draft often, but when he does, he's usually at the business end of competitions. He's regularly kind of semi-finalists, finalists. In the playoffs, the first one of this cycle, as you said, he was a finalist, unlucky not to win. A win percentage of 57% is phenomenal in FM. You talk about Moneyball, that team with a 59% win ratio, it's an unbelievable thing in the randomness of this draft. He knows his draft pools. He's kind of the deep draft pool knowledge guy on the lowdown. So there's not much that's going to phase him in terms of missing picks, or he'll be able to adapt his plan to whatever happens in the draft. So I'm expecting him to be a comfortable qualifier of this group, personally.
Lovely. We're going to race through the next few just to catch up really more than anything else. So Stinger. He's the FM's bridesmaid. He's always been the runner-up or semi-finalist. He's been a finalist twice, August 21 and April recently. 40% win ratio. Stinger. Talk to us about Stinger, Kev.
He has everything you need to win a competition, and he hasn't done so, and it's about time. But look at those 2 finalist positions here on the playoffs. That's as close as he's basically come. Can he do it again this time around? Maybe. There is absolutely no reason why not. Needs a little bit of good fortune, and then we might be off to the races. Who knows?
Lovely stuff. Yeah, maybe it is Stinger's time. Next person to bring up, somebody who hasn't drafted in a long time, and it's definitely his first playoffs appearance. It's Dupe. He appeared on certain podcasts available at FMT Pod, I think. So maybe I'll come to you, Rich. I don't know. I can't go to Kev again anyway.
Hey, I love Dupe. First of all, didn't try and steal my job. So what a guy! I rate him very, very highly. He's got his own better podcast, so he's got better things to do. Like I said, it's his first time playing PvP in over a year. Dupe and I were having a bit of a chat this afternoon. He's a man with a plan. Like he's coming into this. He knows how he's going to play. He knows how he's going to set up. In his own words. I said to him, what are your expectations for the tournament? He said, I'm either going to win the whole thing or I'm going to Tony James in it. And just
wasn't his setup plan just wear a wet towel and have his feet in the basin? Wasn't that the plan? It's not.
It's a great plan. It's a great plan. If I could have both of those things going for me right now, I absolutely would. He knows what he's going to do. And I think, again, he's tactically astute. He knows what he's doing. I think Dupe, despite the fact he's not drafted in a very long time, is going to be one to watch.
Fantastic. And then the winner of the FM Summer Cup, which you were on the panel for last week, he's got to the qualifying groups 4. He's got ranking 61. He's relatively new to streaming, let alone drafting. It's Tim Lewis. Owen, tell us about him.
Yeah, Tim's a really interesting guy. He's every day getting better at both drafting and streaming as he's getting used to it. That ranking is going to jump up, I imagine, into the 40s with his win. I watched him all the way through the Summer Cup. I was following his group. Was very strong in every game, even the games where he didn't win. I spoke to him during the week to kind of say, is there anyone in this group he fears or he's worried about or intimidated by? He was very humble and respectful about all their achievements, and then equally said, no, not a problem. It'll be, I have a plan. I know what I'm doing. And it's exciting football that he plays. It was everybody streaming into the box in the FM Cups. Very kind of Newcastle in the 90s. Just everyone trying to score and outscoring the opponent. So it'll be interesting to see how he does here. If it was, a flash in a pan or if it happened again.
Lovely.
English
let's go. over to Kev. Yes, it is, I know. So, draft position 1, we talked about his unknown quantity. It's first place for him, it's first tournament. There's not a lot to say. Other than the fact that he's in Canada and it's about 10 degrees cooler over there, does he have an advantage with it being cooler? Is his mind a little bit more focused?
I mean, time will tell on that one, but I'd like to be there. I know that for certain. So maybe, I mean, he's going to be comfortable in his environment. So, first pick out, unknown quantity, doesn't really have too much to lose at this point. So let's see what he can do. It'll be interesting.
And then finally, we've got Murph. So Murph took part in the Spring Cup semi-finals last week. He was also in the groups of the playoffs. Ian McIntosh was the person who knocked him out, if I remember correctly. We all remember that 92-93 drafts. He's FM ranked 57. He does a lot of draft chats. He's in a lot of little competitive drafts around the way. Tell us a little bit more about Rich.
The man loves a draft. And we were having a bit of a chat this afternoon as well. He's a man with a plan. He knows what he wants to do. I think he's got less of an idea about squad, but I think tactically he knows what he wants to do. I know he's been running some simulations, and I know that he's quite looking forward to it, and he's happy with what he's got set up tactically. Also, on a personal level, West Midlands represent, so he's the local boy for me. So I hope he does exceptionally well, because I'm massively biased like that.
Fantastic, lovely stuff. Now, before it, that is not the screen I wanted to go to, but it looks very much like it. That's why I got confused. There we are. Beforehand, we got Statline WX, Andrew, in the stats truck to do his predictions, his media predictions. And they're pretty much as expected, just based on the rankings. So it's got Viking Dan, Dupe, Stinger, and Embreezy going through. And then Credo, Tim Lewis, Murph, and H2. I mean, there's not really a lot you can read into it. But let's do it pre-draft. Start with you, Rich. Who's your pick to win?
It's got to be Viking Dan, hasn't it? It's got to be Dan. Undefeated in the playoffs. He's number 1 ranked FM PvP player out there. Like, you can't look past him. Like, on paper, he's got to be the favourite. I think the other 3 people up there with him, it could anybody's guess, but Dan is going to be, I think, top of the pile come the end of Friday.
Lovely stuff. And Kev? Let's go for your prediction.
I'm kind of going to agree. I think Dan has to be the number 1 pick for me, but watch out for Stinger. There is, as I said earlier, there is no reason why this guy doesn't win more than he has done. And maybe this is the time for him to do that. Getting out of this group, I think that's perfectly possible for him, but Dan will probably be my favourite to take the top spot. So
2 for Dan. Owen?
I'm going to go rogue here. I've backed him in every tournament he's been in. It's never happened. But I reckon Dupe. I think he's gone away. He's done the whole, Bruce Wayne going to a cave to discover what was wrong with his life. And I reckon himself probably closely chased down. I think Tim Lewis is going to surprise a lot of people as well. He was very, very impressive in the Summer Cups. Interestingly as well, while we were going on there was polls put up. And Viking Dan won the favourite to win it of the lowdown crew, and the best of the rest has currently been won 57% to Tim Lewis, with the other 3 competitors sharing 14%. So clear leaders in the 2 polls we put up.
Lovely stuff. Right, I got you guys to do some homework and bring up some choices for me. So we'll start with you Kev. Just give me 1 second. I've completely lost where we need to be on this one. 1 second. Why is that not there? There it is. There we are. Lovely. Right, Kev, I asked you to pick me 3 essential picks. The essential collection, as we might well call it. I don't know. We'll see how we get on. So talk us through your 3 picks of Goncalves, Fabinho, and Asensio.
Versatility. It's all about versatility. At some point in this tournament, the likelihood is that you're going to have to change your tactic and change your style because it's not working in a particular game. And these 3 guys can help you do that without having to change any of them on and off the pitch. So Fabinho, 28.5 million. Yes, a bit higher in value than the other 2 guys, but he's a superstar. But what he does is he does lots of things really well. He can play defensive midfield. He can play box to box for you. He can play at right back, he can play at centre back if you need him to, but he does all of them really well. The other 2 are similar in what roles they play, but that's not a bad thing for me. I would and have had both of these into my first 11, and you can play them both as either winger. You can play them both as a shadow striker. I've played them as a central midfield on attack duty and a Metzaler as well. And so any way in which you want to change round your top 3 or 4 players in your side in terms of your attacking talent, those 2 players can play any of those roles and can save you on having to take them in and out of the team if you need them to. So those are my picks. And I think for 15 million each, those 2 guys are absolute bargains as well as being essential.
Yeah, and that is an excellent budget control there from you, Kev. I must say, well done on that. So, Rich, 40% of your budget. Erling Haaland at 70 million, Rhys James at 25.5, and Dimitri Payet at 25.5. Talk us through these picks. I think Haaland's an obvious one. Let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, Haaland scores goals. Haaland gets you goals. For my money, he is the best striker in PvP. I don't think you can look past him. I can't remember the last time I was on a panel for a draft where Haaland was involved in the pool where he didn't end up as top scorer in the competition or the lead striker for the people that either won or then went on to qualify. If he's available in that draft pool when it gets to your pick, I can't think of a feasible reason for you to not go for him. I just physically can't do it. Rhys James is pretty much the quintessential fullback. He does everything really, really well. He's defensively solid. His crossing is exceptional. His player traits are pretty much ideal for what you want from an attacking fullback. All of his attributes just add up to really, really, really strong right-sided fullback. For my money, again, for £25 million, you can't really pick a better one. There aren't many better ones in that database. And Dimitri Payet, 2 reasons he's on my list. Firstly, I love him. And secondly, I knew that Owen was going to pick him and I got my picks in first. So I thought I'll just be a pedant. But yeah, he's wonderful. I don't think if you're going to employ like a Trequartista or somebody in that kind of role in your system, I don't think you can find a better one than Dimitri Payet. He does everything so well. He's lethal from set pieces. His passing, his vision, his creativity, he just ticks so many boxes. And I think it's a shame you don't see more of him in drafts because I think every time I've seen him, again, he gives an exceptionally good account of himself. So for me, that's 40.3% of my budget well spent. Thank you very much, Jebbery.
Okay, fair enough. I'll let you off with that. I'd still pick Trent over Rhys James, particularly off last night's performance in the Super League, but there we are. Anyway, on to Owen. Speaking of performances in the Super League, your first pick, David De Gea, put out a 6.1 stinker in the final and was the reason second yellow card lost. He also saved 2 penalties in the semi-final, so it's hit and miss. But talk us through these very obvious, very Premier League picks.
So, first of all, we'll go with De Gea first. This is a recent addition to my kind of essential picks. I didn't believe in him being a great goalkeeper in the match engine. I drafted him once or twice for 7. He was okay. He never really let me down, which is well above average usually for a goalkeeper. But from what you've seen, Holly in the Streamer Showdown, yesterday in the Super League, he wins games. And it seems to be, maybe he's got the hidden talent of, he thrives in big games because league games, not great. All of a sudden, knockout football, he's dribbling up the field with the ball in his nose like a seal. Like, he seems to do it all in knockout games. It's expensive goalkeeper buy, but I think based on what we've seen from other tournaments, he regularly is a star of a show and very rarely drops a clanger. And then opposite the Kev, my next 2, don't mind this versatility, it's specialists you want. The only person who can pocket Haaland in the match engine, Van Dijk, he locks down the defense for you. He doesn't dive into tackles as a player trait, so you don't see him running up the pitch and getting caught out and making a bad decision. He's a goal-scoring threat. He can be the top end of goal-scoring charts from corners. And the reason he does that is you pick the most meta pick in the game. People don't like us talking about meta game. But Ward-Prowse, he knows how to cross a ball. He knows how to hit a free kick. He has natural fitness of 20, stamina of 20. In an 8-man league, you'll need that because fitness is going to come into it. Injury proneness comes into it. There's no holes in his game. He can play defensively in midfield. He can play attacking midfield from the centre of the park. And there's never a system they can't play in. So they're my 3 essential picks. And I like the finer things in life, hence 38% budget, Look at this shirt, it's great.
38%. I know, lovely. Right. And then I asked you all to pick a bargain, and it was quite simple. This is called the Andy Carroll section for a reason. Rich Owens, my favourite podcast member of the FMT pod. Tell me about Andy Carroll.
I think I could just at this point say his name's Andy Carroll and just leave it there. We all know what he's capable of. He's £500,000. He's big, he's tall, he's strong. If you're chasing a game, if you need to throw somebody big on up front, if you've got a player like a Dimi Payet or a James Ward-Prowse in your team, and you need to start aiming free kicks and set pieces at somebody, there are very, very few players I would rather have coming off the bench that are going to get on the end of those. Alternatively, if you want to put him in your starting 11, he's guaranteed to score a hat-trick every game as well because he's Andy Carroll. He's that good. I don't think that there are no flaws to his game, and anybody that might want to bring up things like attributes or performances in previous tournaments, I think they're liars. I can't see a fault with him at all. I love him. We will love him. He's Andy bloody Carroll.
Fantastic. And as we are shortlisting, Anthony Martial, so if we can go quickly through these last two. Mr. Kev.
Simple. He runs quite quick and he finishes in front of goal. £5 million. What more do you need?
There we are. Nice and simple. And Owen, 2 goalkeepers.
Yeah. Well, if you don't get, I don't draft it here that often. I nearly always get Kepa. He's always there at the end of the draft. As much as I despise the fella as a human for what he did in that FA Cup game, he's a phenomenal keeper for under 4 million. Doesn't get anything wrong. Good in front of penalties. He's what you want, and you can pick him late in the draft without having to overthink it too much, usually.
Lovely stuff. And we rehearsed this bit, remember, guys, so we're on to the next set of picks. Are you ready? I hope you're all ready for it. Right. 1, 2, 3. Boo! Boo!
Get him off.
Boo! Right, welcome to Fraud FC. The founder of Fraud FC, just because he has terrible records in most drafts.
70% win rate in all competitions.
Yeah. Tell us about Pembe.
Pembe is the definition of it, and I said it in the Spring Cup when I was commentating on it. Anything I've commentated on recently, where he always gets drafted. He is the king of goal kick taken. He runs up past the halfway line to header the ball. He's 14 yards ahead of where the ball is going to land, and it's a 1-on-1 every time. He does dive into tackles. He likes to bring the ball forward. He hasn't the greatest off the ball, so he's never in the right position. Like, he's so many greens. It's unbelievable. Technicals, mentalities. But the ones you have, concentrations at a 13, his off the ball is 10. He just seems to get caught out. He'll be in highlights for you going forward. Beautiful highlights. And then he's always the fault of the goal. And for 27 million, he should be the linchpin of the defence. Like, it's crazy. So mad about
Locatelli, please, Kev.
Well, we talked about versatility earlier, and this guy, in theory, should be anything from a defensive midfielder and a supportive midfielder and attacking midfielder. Can do it all. He's got absolutely everything you need, and I've drafted him a number of times, and even in winning teams, he's always the one that I have to sub in and out and try and find a place for, and it never quite settles. For £34 million in this particular draft pool, I can't afford him because he's not consistent enough for me, in my experience. That's why I chose him.
And speaking of somebody with experience of getting forced with him, that sounds wrong, but this is a Dalgit draft where he goes, you got a really expensive player. One of them was Lionel Messi. Tell me how bad he is, Rich.
He's a rat. I hate him. Yeah, he's awful. He's absolutely awful. I mean, to be fair, for context, when it came to picking the player for Fraud FC, I put PSG's just starting 3 front players. Yeah. It could have been Neymar, Mbappe, or Messi. Messi has been chosen. You could put a decimal place between the 9 and the 5, and I still wouldn't pick him. He just does nothing. He does absolutely nothing. I've never drafted him and managed to get a song out of him. I can't abide him. For that money, you could get 4 Dimitri Payets. So just for me, the maths speaks for itself. He's lauded as one of the best players in the world, and I'm not trying to take that away from him in reality, but in terms of PvP, you can't anywhere get close to justifying the price. You can't get close to justifying the performances that he puts in. in draft tournaments. Fraud, hate him. If I never have to see him again in a draft, I'll be happy.
Tax dodger.
Fantastic, and that's left us with 10 seconds left to our first pick. So we are here, sat with H2, ready to make the first pick. Let's see how we get on. This is where I know it is. I mean, he's got his short list.
If he doesn't take Haaland, I'm going to lose my mind. Even if he takes Van Dijk, who I think is the essential pick, I would go crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on picking that first pick. I mean, does he listen to the advice? He's got his short list up. He's taking his time, which we admire. We always admire, so we can keep count.
I spoke to him earlier in a text conversation, and he didn't tell me who he was going to pick number one. So whether he knew or not at that point, I don't know. But he didn't actually tell me.
He's hovering over it.
He's hovering.
Do it.
There we are. Erling Haaland is our first pick. Big surprise.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the Path to Playoffs, H2. He's done it.
And now over to Tim Lewis, who has picked up Vlahovic. Very quick. I love the towel on his head. He's keeping cool that way. So that's fine on there. So we'll go straight over to Murph, who is streaming Football Manager, as you can see. But there we go, much better. Another towel. Oh no, he's got his American bandana on. He's picked Virgil van Dijk. So Virgil van Dijk has gone there.
Pick of Tim winning the competition by taking Vlahovic, who was a consideration for my fraud pick.
Thomas Souček is going as a first pick for Stinger. Stinger is he carried on the narrative from last time where he picked quite left field? What was it, 13 million on English players or something silly?
That is the first pick he suggested to me he was going to go for. He also told me his second pick. We'll see what happens when he comes back round again as to whether he gets him.
I'm assuming
James Ward-Prowse has just gone for Dupe. Dupe is looking. He's struggling there. I'm not going to go into further than that. There is a lot of perspiration there. Breezy, man after your own heart. He has picked. I don't know who he's picked. He's gone right through it. Ciro Immobile has gone for Credo, who's on YouTube, which is really hard to capture. Viking Dan on the double pick, taking his time, looking at Tammy Abraham. I mean, spoilers for next week. I think we mentioned a fair few of the picks for next week on the panel. Tammy Abraham is one of them. He's phenomenal, isn't he, Owen?
He's pretty good, and I was kind of slow on him in this game cycle. Like he has, similar to what Vardy had last year, he has the speed to get in behind and break defenses, but he can also mix it at corners and look after himself and create his own goals by beating defenders. So yeah, pretty good value pick as a striker as well. So
lovely stuff. So Tammy Abraham was his first pick. Now he's got his second pick. Is there an advantage with having this double pick, Kev?
Very much so. You can begin to work in partnerships, I would suggest, double midfielders, a couple of wide men or a wide right winger and a fullback in partnerships and build that way. I quite like this position. Some people prefer kind of just to be one and done and then leave it for a little while. But yeah, I think there is definitely an advantage for double picks.
He's now looking at Vladimir Kufal, but he's actually just going through and just searching away here. So it's...
He must be just trying to trigger Stinger, who I assume with his player card is an Irons fan, right? Because he's taken Souček first as well.
No, he's a Man City fan, I think, actually. So.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah. So Aguilar's gone as his second pick. Over to Credo, who's not as
Alexander-Arnold.
Week. Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold has gone. We are a little bit behind on Credo. I do apologise. I'm just going to skip over to Breezy, just in case. There we are.
Credo's first pick was Ciro Immobile as well, which is he's the Marmite of FM. People love him and people hate him.
Yeah, Martinez was Breezy's first pick. So it's interesting. It's not somebody I see go first pick anyway, and he's just picked up Alex Tellez, who behind the scenes Cam picked as a first pick in an unlimited pool. Yeah, unfortunately, it's amazing they did so terrible on that. Yeah, exactly.
We're not.
But yeah, Alex Tellez going as the second pick. Is it a copy of Clates' tactic? Is that where we're going with this?
I mean, he's a decent utility left back, I suppose. I mean, the attributes are kind of there or thereabouts for him. And 4.3 million, is he? I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody who does similar things for a similar price, I suppose.
I've got
Or
off
he
him.
is just-
He's not as defensive as I'd like anymore, especially because you got so many people playing the 3-striker attack system. He ends up at corners and crosses and free kicks going against some of the big meaty men. So I'd like someone a bit more assured to come back.
Dupe has gone for Ferran Torres, and Aubameyang's just gone for Stinger. There's a lot of headwear going on today.
Again, was definitely Stinger's choice for his second pick. He suggested that to me earlier.
And here's Murph, straight out of Texas. Not the band. Sandro Tonali's gone for him.
What a reference. There's so many I don't even know who Texas are anymore.
Exactly. And Malinsevsky's gone for Tim Lewis. Can I have somebody in the backroom team tell Tim Lewis to slow down a little bit? We are struggling to keep up with his picks. Now, round to H2. He's got the double pick here. And he's gone for Victor Osimhen, so he's followed up Haaland with Osimhen. That's quite a meaty man.
It is.
Front two.
Yeah, what a first playoffs he's having. He's already the star performer.
Yeah.
He's gone big with two strikers. Now I just hope he doesn't go for Verratti next. Otherwise, we're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, Victor Osimhen. That's got. Will that hurt Dupe? Because obviously Dupe discovered Victor Osimhen for anybody else in the entire world.
You'd imagine it must do, really.
Yeah.
Or Dupe.
And yeah, exactly. And now he's looking at Szoboszlai, so it's not a bad free kick utility midfielder, but I don't know if it's the right choice.
It's an interesting choice. I think he can certainly perform, but whether he will or not is debatable, I think. But those two strikers are immense.
Do you think there's a value in picking someone's... Oh, sorry. Go on.
Tim Lewis has gone for Fabinho, so that's 4 out of 9 of your essential picks have gone. Sadly, one each, and 2 for Owen's predictable. So we'll see where that one goes. We're over to Murph.
Owen's predictable. Rich picked Haaland.
Yeah, because I know what I'm talking about, Owen. Come on now.
Having said that, I wanted to pick Haaland who's beat me to the punch.
Exactly. Listen to your old pal Rich, and we'll get that 17% up to a respectable 25 by the end of FM23. Come on.
If I get into 20s, I will send you a thank you video on Twitter. If you can assist the manager with a 21%.
And Dominic Calvert-Lewin's gone for Murph. Sorry, Charlene Spiteri. Sorry.
I like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think he's got a lot about him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's a sensible pick. I've seen him turning up in a lot of offline saves. Everton or whoever ended up signing him, using him as like a wide target man, which I know that somebody hosting the panel is a big fan of. So maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, mate. Well, yeah, not this season. Last season, definitely 5 up front, 5 target men. It was always fun. It's interesting to note in Murph's chat there is a presence of Hood Gaming and McTyler. Hood, who picked Dominic Calvert-Lewin as his first pick in the Super League and crashed out, and I don't think he got any goals. So we'll see. I don't know if that's good advice. That's
where you get a listing to Marty Jannetty.
Yes.
Hood is like Popeye. He needs Garrett to make him strong, doesn't he?
Ooh, controversial.
Luis Alberto next for Stinger. Is that part of the plan?
I didn't get that far with him. I just got the first 2 from him, but you can understand why he's picked. He's a very creative attacking midfield player. Very good.
Yeah. And Dupe is employing the cold towel on the back of the neck technique. Either that or it's a fur coat. No, it's a cold towel. There we are. And he's gone with Mohamed Salisu as his centre-back choice. Unfamiliar with how successful people have been with Salisu. Owen, Kev, shine your light?
I personally haven't ever had him, I don't think.
So I've played against him, and he's one of them. It's like when you draft Kante. He's you don't see him in highlights, but that's probably a good thing. Like, it feels like when you see players like that in highlights, you're like, okay, he's made a mistake often, or he's running down a dark alley and loses the ball. So he's a very good, solid pick when you need someone to plug in. Whether he'll start, I don't know. We're starting to see kind of value picks in the 300 mil draft now, So I don't know if he's going to start.
So Guimaraes and for Breezy and Tielemans for Credo. So Credo's both Credo and Breezy have got a defender, a midfielder, and an attacker so far. And Viking Dan's just picked up Costas Tsimikas, so he's got his right back and his left back already, potentially. Is he playing the tactic of going quite low to start off with, then hopefully he can pick off a big name like with the 12th, 13th pick that some people have recently?
I think it's possible. We'll just have to see how many of those big picks are still left, but I think it's certainly a possibility for him. There's a couple in there that I think that might be doing it, but we'll see as the draft goes on.
Yeah, Credo's just picked up, not Credo, Dan's picked up Handanovic, so that's the first goalkeeper that's gone. So 25.5 on him. Credo is, his stream is massively behind.
Paulista was Viking Dan. It was Handanovic to Credo, I think.
Credo, my mistake there. So Credo's the first one there. Ivan Toney's gone for Breezy.
Breezy's going mega cheap here. Now, Tony is 20 million, but he has also got Tellez, who's 4-ish million, Gramirish, who's 5 million. Camartinas costs a bit, but he's definitely drafting to a plan, it seems. They're very specific players.
Yeah. It's a strange one. And then Dupe's now looking at Højbjerg. He's talking through each of his picks with his chat, which is nice to see. Pubs has sat in there, so I'm guessing he might be doing the Curty job today. We'll see where we go.
Yeah, Dupe's got a plan. Dupe, like I said at the beginning, Dupe has got a plan. He's got a pretty comprehensive shortlist. He's got. I think he's very much like we saw people like RDF do in previous showdowns. He's drafting to a system, so he knows what he wants from each player. So far, he looks happy. I mean, the towels come off the neck, so that means that he's not overheating. So that's a big win for Dupe. Yeah,
and Højbjerg has just gone for Dupe. The only thing I have an issue with Højbjerg is, will he make it through 2 games without getting suspended and then have a game off and have another 2 games without getting suspended? He is a yellow card magnet. Rhys James has gone for Murph, so that's another pick for Rich Owens' essential selection. And Tim Lewis hasn't picked yet, so he's taking his time now, so we get to see a pick from him. That towel on his head is...
I'm loving the hover.
He's looking... Yeah, it's a very interesting hover, isn't it? What was this? What did he have in the Summer Cup? What was his strike force like there?
Oh God! Now you're testing me. I had a head injury over the weekend. I don't know. I know that. I genuinely can't remember. But I don't remember my own drafts the following day, to be honest with you.
Lovely stuff. Anybody in the chat doesn't remember, please remind us.
His tactic was, because we discussed his tactics and what he went with. He was just literally about getting people overloading, running into the box. So he's kind of playing out to in with inside forwards. And they were kind of the key players for him in that system.
Nice. And he's going for... Actually, Olivier Giroud at 27 million is an expensive option, I think. I know he's... but he's fabulously attractive man, but
you can't put a price on beauty. You can't. Well, you can. It's 27 million, but I think that's money well spent, in my opinion. If I'm losing a game and I can just hover over Olivier Giroud and look into those beautiful, beautiful eyes as I go 6-0 down, I just know everything's going to be okay.
Is he doing talking signals to us? I hope he's not. I mean, just listen to these guys blabbering on. I'm going to take my time. There we are. He's made the pick.
Give us a wave, Tim.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim, if everything's okay, blink 3 times.
And now over to H2 with the double pick again. With a bit of time to think. So his first 3 picks were... Are we on 3 or is it 4 now?
Yeah, Haaland, Osimhen and Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
You call them slobbers. What a great nickname.
Yeah, slobbers, yeah.
I genuinely thought his name was Sausages. Is that not right?
So Gauda's in the chat and he said Giroud has a 5.4 rate ability price rating, quite high for his price range. So I was right about his price. That's basically what Gauda's saying. Thank you.
But he fits into the point I have, like the specialist. He can do a bit of everything, but he is great at winning ball, knocking it on. I think you have to play him in a 2-striker system. You're not having him lead a line. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he always causes damage and knocks someone out of a tournament.
So Pessina's gone for H2. Uncommon pick, or not someone that I see that often. Anyone experienced? Anybody want to jump in on Pacina, or should we wait for his next pick?
Let's see what comes up next and then talk about that. That's the best idea.
No, that's fine. I mean, looking at Tim Lewis has got Vlahovic and Giroud. Is that a front two to rival Haaland and Osimhen? It's. I mean, can we just have a cage fight between all four of them? I mean, that'd be much more fun.
I think the thing with Vlahovic is that it could be. I mean, he's got everything you need, and I have used him and succeeded with him before, but he's inconsistent. That's the thing.
There's something I can't stand for Vlahovic. I've seen him break so many people's hearts as a first pick. Maybe if you get him as a third and fourth pick, like he might still be there, but not as a first pick.
H2 was showing off his book. He's got his first choice keeper in Yassine Bounou. Another player I'm unfamiliar with.
Playing for Treaty United in my save.
Okay, there we are.
It is an interesting fifth pick, isn't it, really? Because you'd imagine that a couple of picks from now he'd still be there. That's an interesting pick.
A couple of picks from now.
I was trying to be nice, not confrontational, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think you could go as far as to say that he could Peter Rod and Wingy it. The day of the draft, he'll be there, parked outside his house in his Range Rover. It's like, come on, draft me.
If I hadn't signed him on Tuesday, I wouldn't know who he is. Like the Moroccan legend. Oh man! And his best fact: he wears the jersey Bono, so he fitted right in Ireland.
Oh,
great!
I love Bono. He's my favourite.
Yeah. He was trying to cure AIDS. What a prick, eh?
Yeah, no, exactly. Tim Lewis. He's taking his time now with the picks. I think we've gone the other way with it. He's hovering over Belotti. I don't know whether we should tell him to pick. I mean, Belotti's still on the free, isn't he, as well at the moment? He's actually not even got a club in real life. He was released by Torino.
So.
Yeah, it's strange nobody's picked him up. I know there's a lot of clubs that would enjoy him in their squad, but there we are. Belotti's gone. So that's free strikers.
You can pick him up in offline saves for about £3 million every January, and he's prolific. He's absolutely prolific. Like again, he's got the attributes of a top tier goal scorer. You don't see a huge amount of him. He doesn't tend to go early in drafts, but if you actually look at the if you look at the player, he's not a bad striker option.
Nice.
He's certainly going for goals, isn't he? In terms of his picks so far, with Malinowski on his long shot as well. That's pretty impressive.
Wow. So,
is he going for the Clates, the three up front?
Oh, maybe. That is a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Clates, or the commonly lesser known Malteser Falcon as well. He goes for the three up front. I mean, started off well, but then somehow he lost 5-1 to Cam's team with Joe Linton in yesterday. So there we are. Charlene Spiteri, sorry, Murph FM is back on our screen. So I'm going to keep going with that niche reference. And that's tonight's niche reference. I now need to look up Texas songs before he picks next time. He's hovering around a few players. Who's it? Yep. McTyler and Isaac. McTyler and Hood are very much going Origi, Isaac. Looking on that side of things, Belotti was advised before. It looks like he's got two quite established assistant managers. We shall see.
Zapata is an interesting one as well. I've taken him a few times, and he has dominated, as much as I can dominate any competition, and just not turned up. It's a weird one. He seems to be one that people struggle to get firing, but when he does, he can win you a tournament.
Yeah, well, you can say what you want, but it won't change my mind.
That's a bad fan, no?
Thank you.
Well, that was poor from me. That was poor. That I took a second. Oh man, it's bad when I lived through their heyday and I didn't get the reference.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you even googling Texas songs?
No, I just remember that lyric. Zaniolo has gone for Murph FM, and Stinger couldn't be bothered to wait. No, Stinger's picked up Zaniolo, and who?
Murph went for Isak.
Isaac did go for Isak in the end. Yes, so I was too busy focused on my Texas lyrics.
Along with my two essential picks of Goncalves and Asensio, Zaniolo is the third of my three musketeers in those three attacking midfield roles if I have them, because I think they can play all sorts of roles. Zaniolo's a really good pick.
I don't know how you have Asensio in there. Let me tell you about Luis Alberto.
Well, go on then.
He's great. There you go. That's the gist of it. He can play both sides. He can play centre midfield attacking. He can also play Mazzala. What else do you say, Kev? He can basically do everything.
How much?
Not a fan of Asensio. He has got a price boost in the winter. I believe he's now 27 million. He used to be like 13, which was great.
Yeah, he was. He used to be very, very, very good value.
Oh man, treat yourself. You live a little. You deserve it, Kev.
Thanks.
So Dupe has picked up
Ronald Araujo.
Yeah, Ronald Araujo as centre back, and Breezy's just picked up Gvardiol. So still going the budget picks.
Is Dupe going strikerless?
Credo's picked up Canate. Credo's stream is so behind. Unfortunately, he's unwatchable. Tyrone Mings is about to go for Viking Dan. He's on his double pick again. So, has he got a back line already?
Yes, he has.
Yeah, backline and Tammy Abraham, and he's just picked up him, Gonzalez.
Yeah,
24 million.
That's a hell of a backline.
It is.
It's not a.
And his budget is still looking very, very healthy as well. So I think you're right in the estimation. I think we're going to see big picks from Viking Dan. Possibly, kind of you start looking at kind of 12th, 13th picks. I think that's when he's going to really start throwing some money at it.
I'm going to call it now. He's going to go Benzema late in the game.
Maybe. Breezy's got 209 million left on budgets. He's got 50 million more than Viking Dan. And he's just picked up Mancini for 20 million, so he's down to 188 now. So
yeah, there was somebody in Breezy's chat earlier suggesting Wan-Bissaka. So whoever that was, just I'm assuming doesn't want him to win. So fair enough.
Oh, Kev.
Yes.
Kev.
Yes.
Look.
Yes.
Look.
Oh well. Yeah. What can I say?
Oh, he's got away from him. That's a shame.
He's too close to a striker. Dude's definitely going strikerless.
I would imagine so, yeah, at this point.
He's an unbelievable player, though, as well. He's a great essential pick.
Yeah.
Goncalves?
Yeah, either or.
Should we do a poll?
There's a lot of Tyrone Mings abuse in the chat.
I'm not having
one
it.
One is Konza is better than him, and the other one is I can't really say out on stream. It's not really fair, but there we are.
I think I've seen Dan use him before. I think so. I think he's a key person in Dan's setup. I think I might be wrong.
I use him regularly. The only negative is he dwells on ball, but he's an auxiliary left back. I usually have him as cover as a left back as much as a centre back. He's great from set piece, defensively, and everything.
Yeah, he just seems to miss those balls over the top a lot, I've noticed. He loves jumping and missing the ball, and then somebody just runs onto it. And there we go. Goncalves has gone.
There you go. You see, a long shot. Yeah. He's got a fantastic shot on him. He's got lots. I really like him.
Right, back to Stinger.
Well,
Stinger's got...
He won me my Winter Cup, basically.
Yes, I remember. I remember.
He did. We all remember. Okay. Keep talking about it, Kev.
Do you want to get your full-time printout? It's just behind you. We can see it.
It is. It's just behind me. But, it's been an hour, so, I've done pretty well.
I take it back. You don't deserve to be treated well.
No, exactly. Murph's picked up Galan, and Stinger picked up Badiashile. And over to Tim
really
Lewis.
Great value. Couple of really good picks there for Badiashile and Gallen.
I'm telling Tim Lewis not to wait this long, but yeah. He's ready to pick him, that's fine.
The poor fella, he can't win with us.
No, exactly. I wouldn't mind, but if he was searching for some other players at the same time, it's fine. If he was just sat there, no, he's just. I think we've upset him. I'm blaming you, Owen. I'm blaming you.
That's definitely this Jeb character. He's never happy. Look at him. He's fuming.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the summer sun's got to him.
He's probably got to all of us by now, isn't it?
Yeah, I was
Jeb
gonna
Rue's
say.
laughing because he's just seen that on Jeb Rue's just seen that on his list of Texas song names. So there you go. Look
sorry,
at me
I missed
go.
that one. Yeah,
Look
no,
at me go.
You
Can't be
know
stopped.
more than one Texas song. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Charlene Spiteri is watching, isn't she?
yeah,
Hi,
she
Charlene.
probably is. Yeah.
Hiya. How's it going?
Wow, she's
You okay?
come a long way from the heady days of Texas.
Hope you're well.
She's Googling herself and heard that we were referencing her.
She's delighted.
I'm looking at some of these drafts.
So Kondogbia has gone for Tim Lewis while we're talking about Charlene Spiteri and willing
She's great under a high ball.
somewhere.
To be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe she is. Dennis Carey has been looked at by H2. Defensive midfielder. Had a special card in FIFA once. I mean, I've not seen him picked in drafts that many times, but yeah.
No,
People pick him more than you think, though, and it's only because he was linked with United in January. Like, he's not that good a player to me. I don't get it. I never seem to do well. Great
No.
mentality in the game, but like, it's the only reason I can see is like he was in January. It's like, well, he must be a good player.
If you're looking at someone like a Dennis Zakaria at that price when you've still got players like Emre Can on the board, like it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Or Rabiot as well, yeah. It's even Verratti's a good pick.
Take that back.
I was going to say, let's not go too far.
Myself and
Yeah,
Ellis
so-
are big Verratti fans. It's not done as well either.
Can we-
So Polina went for H2, who wasn't where we were discussing, and he's got an extensive notebook, handwritten notes as well. None of these fancy spreadsheets. Let's go for old school pen and paper. Looking at Bryce Mendes. He's picking up some unknown picks. He started off really strong, and then we're just kind of shrugging our shoulders at every pick currently. Any experience on Mendes? Anyone? Bueller? No?
I've signed him in an offline game with Bolton. He plays great in single player game. He's kind of a utility player. You can see it there across the right in the centre of midfield.
He's got
Nothing special. I mean, it feels like I'm saving my money for later in the game. And if he's playing a tactic, he's just there. I don't know if he'd fit that tactic very well.
interesting insight into his tactics there, as we saw
Yeah.
two advanced forwards. Did you want to go back and look at that, Kev?
No. On his stream, he has been looking at the 4-1-3-2, 4-3-1-2, was it? I think, which is one that I played earlier in the FM22 cycle. It's got a lot going for it if you can get the right players in. And what he's decided is he needs goals, and he's gone big to get his goals, and the rest of it's going to follow on slightly more budget, I guess.
If that's how he's setting up, if he's got two advanced forwards in Haaland and Osimhen, then that's goals, isn't it? That's a lot of goals.
Zaga, do stop them there. And Grimaldo's gone for Tim Lewis.
Really solid left back.
Yeah. Are we on to Stinger, who looks like prison era Undertaker, according to Tony Jefferson in chat. I mean,
I'm sure there are worse things.
yeah, exactly. And he's picked up Niakate, so nice quick pick there.
Good solid pick. Dupe is on the board now, and looking at his draft picks, he's got Ward-Prowse, but he hasn't really picked up an obvious target man to go scoring goals for Ward-Prowse. I guess Torres maybe can go after a ball.
Yeah, maybe a Rougeau as well. He's got
Yeah.
17 heading. I don't know what his jumping reach is at. I can only...
But like none of a person I'm surprised hasn't been drafted, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, is Kurt Zuma. If I didn't, care for my reputation, I might have put him in an essential pick. 20 jumping, 20 heading. I've never drafted him myself because it's just, life's too short to be doing that for dickheads.
Our first
win.
bargain pick has gone. It's Anthony Martial for Dupe.
That's there's his first striker as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
maybe not so much the strikerless.
But he plays great on the wings as well. Like, do you put him opposite side of Gonçalves?
Yeah, and Breezy's picked up Mark Bartra, so he's 7 picks in. He's 184 million left. Is him and Dan just playing? Let's spend as little as possible and go from there. Oh no,
Credo's
that's Credo.
budget
Mark,
underground.
Mark,
Looking-
yeah, sorry.
Mukile went to Breezy.
No, the double pick with Viking Dan.
This is the great thing with 300 million. You start
No,
seeing some
no.
lists
No.
of family picks.
Well, didn't see that coming.
Oh dear! Oh no!
Didn't see that coming from Dan.
Yeah, we're not going to say his name because it kind of summons certain users
It
into
does,
the chat.
doesn't it?
So
But,
let's not do it.
Almost like Dan is saying, you know what? The playoffs are too easy. I want to. Not only that, he's going to start him in goal. So.
Second yellow card had him yesterday, and I think he picked him 20th, but he did actually get 2 goals out of it and an assist. So, and then he also got flooded his chat with various associated.
I'm disappointed
names.
though. For 15 million, you could have still had Asensio. You know,
yeah,
come on.
That shows you how bad the pick is.
You could have had anybody else, literally any other player in the database.
I don't know. We could say his name and get 100 extra followers for the FM playoffs.
Yeah, true. Rodrigo de Paul has just gone for his second pick. We'll stick with Credo. We'll view his pick. Breezy and Dupe are hammering through there, so we may miss them, but we'll stick with Credo. See what he's thinking. I mean, what's he got left? 107 million. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah,
13
it's
picks.
not looking great.
No. And he's hovering around £20 million picks as well. I mean, I think he's learning here.
Was that Julian Weigl he just picked up then?
I think it was. And Poulsen's gone immediately for Breezy. Back over to Dupe. We'll come round to Breezy next time, and I'll drop a little slow down, please, on his picks. Lucas Digne has just gone for Dupe, so a left back.
Can't go wrong with that, can you really? For that sort of price.
Oh, Stinger's got his backgrounds back on.
Oh,
Good.
no. Oh, I haven't got JDFM, have I? I haven't got JDFM in this draft. Good luck, Tony, next week. You get blinded by that England flag. It's like somebody's turned on all the lights. Look that way. Right. Stinger working his way through goalkeepers by the looks of things.
I love that chat's now referring to one of the people picked as that certain American player.
Yes.
Because they're trying to do it as well.
So Stinger's gone for Bijou. Mateus was on there. I think he picked him last time, but he made a couple of mistakes, so he's kind of avoided him this time around. I know Ali's a big fan of him. Everyone's on the goalkeeper hunt by the looks of things. And Ramsdale being looked at by Murph FM.
It's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed.
Solid goalkeeping option, Aaron Ramsdale.
He'd be my first choice, I think, in this pool at this point.
I don't talk too much about goalkeepers. I've already picked 2, so if I talk about any more, people think I've got a fetish for them. There's still some good players left out there. Is someone going to do
Yeah, Breezy picked up Poulsen as well. Dimitrovic, I had him in the win. Yeah, I had him in the Winter Cup against you. He was the guy who dived over the ball. So
big fan of his work.
So he takes bribes, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, under player traits, it's just got corruption. So
Hakimi looks ready to go for Tim Lewis. He's going to press yes at 1 minute. There you go. It's gone. There we go. Done.
Nice.
H2.
Look how bored he looks. He's waiting because we asked him to politely.
So H2's got stick. So full North American advice in the background there, and then there's Coach Zanko. So is stick behind this draft? Is that what's going on here?
I hope not.
I think
1 point stick.
After yesterday, yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. There's a hydrate being redeemed in chat, so I do advise you all to hydrate.
Last time I saw Stick Piano behind a draft, it was with Alice, FM Girl, and she basically went against every one of his picks, I seem to remember.
Yeah, and she did well, so there we are. So.
To be fair to Stick, he won Ali at playoffs all on his own, so Stick is a hell of a drafter.
Couldn't possibly comment.
Yeah, so
Owen there burning bridges on the very first broadcast after the merger. So,
so Robin Normand is his first pick. Solid pick for a centre back. Probably does need a bit of balance with all those forwards that he's got. There's 116 million left, so I think he's made his big signings. He's now. Let's see where we go on that side. By the looks of things, tall boys that can pass. That is the advice from Stick.
Who's his assistant manager, Clates?
Oh,
I mean, to be fair, it's not bad advice, is it? Really?
No.
Right. Elvedi, yeah. So Elvedi or Conser are being recommended. I won't be surprised one or the other goes very soon.
I think Conser's the one to go for. He's proven track record in drafts like this. I've not seen Elvedi, I think, ever drafted in anyone I've watched. I'm worried now Andrew will come in and produce 3 of the 21 drafts you've commentated on. he's such a wizard with stats, you know? That's not a challenge, Andrew.
Elvedi's the one.
Yeah, Elvedi's been picked. So over to Tim Lewis, who's got Owen.
I know, he was hovering him. I've been on his stream. He's been hovering him ever since his last pick, and I was like, no, Tim. He's taken 2 of Fraud FC in Vlahovic and now Pembe.
Oh, this is your Fraud FC, though, but that's about 200 players, isn't it?
It's mostly strikers, and at one stage played for PSG. Carey's in there as well. Yeah. I don't know. Like, watch it. Whoever's commentating on Tim Lewis's games, we'll count how many times Pembe is at fault for a goal or a heroic moment for his keeper. I'll
try to give you as many as possible. We'll see where we go. Speaking of keepers, I mean, there's not been being picked so far. Andanovic. Well, we've obviously got Bunu. We'll just have a look through. Dimitrovic and Biljo. There's a few people without keepers at the moment. Are they holding off? I guess there's enough money.
There's enough competent goalkeepers in this pool that you can pick up. There's always going to be a goalkeeping option. You know, you at this stage, the argument probably is for the people that have already drafted a keeper. Their logic is, I like that keeper. That's about as far as you can go, because there's no urgency to be drafting somebody, because there's just such an abundance of in an 8-man draft. There's an abundance of good goalkeepers you can pick up at pretty much any point during a draft like this.
There's certain positions, like goalkeeper is one I don't think I'd prioritize as a position, because we could probably all name 5 or 6 good goalkeepers. Left back in this pool is a huge amount of left backs still left. But like top class, inside forwards, strikers, centre midfielders, not so much. There's certain ones that are head and shoulders. I mean,
also very jealous of Hood Gaming. It's 23 degrees in Cardiff. I'm sat here in 33 degrees. Just 10 to 9. So
Duke's office is 41 degrees. He told us in chat before we went live, which is phenomenal.
Poor Duke.
Yes.
Yeah. Somehow it's hot. It's hotter here in the Midlands now than it was an hour ago when we started. So I don't understand.
It's the Football Manager draft action. That's what it is. It's heating the place up.
It's hot.
Cool. I'll be joining the panel next time, and Kev's going to be hosting. Stealing my lines, unbelievable. Right. Tony's coming for your job. Right.
This is what he does.
Far too many buttons to press.
Yeah. He turns up. He's all endearing and he's all eloquent, and then suddenly got your job.
It's a ploy. It's a ploy. It's
like Littlefinger in Game of Thrones. He's humble and charming, and then stabbed in the back straight away.
A very much bargain pick there for Stinger. Livermento. Said it right. Yes, it is. 800k. He's an all right back. He's not amazing, but it's definitely going to be something that you need him to do.
Stinger, one of these guys who tries to draft clever all the time, as opposed to taking he hasn't anyone. He's a couple of good players in like Luis Alberto, Zaniolo, but Aubameyang, Souček's your first 2 picks. Livermento now is probably starting right back, and it's probably stronger there in the pool still.
Yeah, it's an interesting group of players, and I think this is very much Stinger in the way that he does it. He may come in slightly bigger later on, possibly, but we'll see. There's just some of the guys out there that do draft that way, isn't there? You know, that I look at and think, I don't know what you're doing, but sometimes it works for them. But obviously, we all know that it hasn't quite worked for Stinger so far in the way that he'd have liked it to. So we'll see whether it does this time.
So Mariba's gone for Credo, Kalulu for Dupe, and Miss Breezy's again.
I love that. I love that from Duke, by the way. I love Kalulu. I think he's a great utility defensive option. He can play anywhere across the back line. He's big, he's quick, he's fairly strong. He's good going forward if you're going to play him out wide. He can play left or right. I think that's a sensible pick. I rate it very highly.
Hatibor went for, so from Atlanta for Breezy.
And Mariba for Credo. And then Dan has just picked up Benacer, who I think is a really good central defensive midfielder. I like him. Lots of energy.
I'm a little worried about Credo's defence. Vestergaard, Bartra, Canate. I mean, Canate... Yes and no. He's great at corners, but Vestergaard's got like 8 pace, has he? Or it's not very fast.
I think it's 8 and 10 or 10 and 11. Yeah, he's he starts off with the first 2 years like, oh, this guy's gonna be lightning, but he never gets faster. It's looking at just some of the other ones. So we're talking about Kalulu and Dupe's draft. He seems to have a lot of players who can play more than competently in a number of positions, like a Højbjerg, a Kalulu, Martial.
Goncalves
is there as well, actually. Yeah, like he's maybe going down the Lujo. It's utility in a league stage. Okay, different in the playoffs, like a knockout. But the league is all about consistency and being able to fill the gaps. I'm not sticking someone out of position.
Morgan Sanson was his second pick, and then Credo has just picked up Ricardo Rodriguez. So another centre back. Maybe play left back, but I don't know if
I was going to say, possibly more left back. But
Murph might be getting some different advice from assistant managers. We've Hood inside in the chat asking, is this database or draft mode? I don't know if that affects how you guys draft or not. I don't overly think about it.
And Breezy's picked up Basuma. I don't know where he's getting his advice. Obviously, I'm just having a look through his chat. Keeney's in there. Yeah, there's a few. Scott Chapman, but there's nobody. Welsh Minor as well. There's nobody standing out in there that would be giving advice for Breezy, so maybe he has got a plan. I know.
He could do getting some defenders, couldn't he?
Second yellow card had some success with Basuma yesterday as a central midfielder on attack. I think all of his central midfielders are on attack yesterday. That's where he's scoring a fair few goals.
Basuma's another one that can do a lot of stuff for you, isn't he? He's 28 million or whatever he is, but he can do a lot. There's a lot of good about him. Vindal for Duke.
Yeah. Val's gone. Back to Stinger. He's looking for a centre back to go alongside. Has he got anyone there? Well, he's got Badia Sheila, I guess.
And he's got some juice that can do a job in the middle as well.
Yeah.
Picked up Juan Miranda.
Nick Atek as well. Ooh.
Yeah, he's got a lot of centre backs actually. So Miranda and Livramento, maybe he's playing St. Just out wide. I don't know. 5 at the back potentially.
Maybe.
Seems to be a very, very, very common formation recently.
Well, it's one
Valverde's gone for Murph.
That's a good pick.
It's a very good pick.
I mean, the 5 at the back as well is one of the few formations that doesn't seem to get destroyed by what we're going to call the Clates, aka the Malteser Falcon formation, because you're not quite as overloaded. It's actually like 5 at the back with a defensive midfielder. It's muck football. The Bolton fan here likes it, but like it's effective. Oh, Kim Pembe, Tim, don't let me down here, please.
I love that Hood's come into our chat and then he's gone back to Murph's chat and gone, so it's a database, just so you know. So So there we are. Tim Lewis. Oh, he's got several players on us. He's teasing us this time around. Is he looking? Oh no, he's searching for Neto.
A goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's gone for Neto. There we are. Scandinavian for value. Will it work? Right.
I mean, H2's looking more attacking options, and considering he's because whoever this is, this is second fiddle to Haaland and Osimhen, isn't it? So
he's a second, third fiddle.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't start getting like strikerless last year. We're going to get plate formations everywhere. I hope he is a backup.
His chat is Danny Welbeck's in there, Eddie Nketiah, Makoko, Jed Wallace.
They're all watching. That's incredible.
Casper Dolberg. There we are. Casper Dolberg is the choice.
Yep.
Casper Dolberg can play as an attacking midfielder or shadow striker, potentially.
Inside forward is kind of where I've had the most success with him.
I'm just thinking of that formation that he has shown off to us. So it's
that's true. Yeah,
it was two advanced forwards and a shadow striker behind. So
it's now looking for a left-sided defender. It looks like.
I thought for a second he was selecting the language, but it was the draft that I already know. Because I was like, he's gone real deep with his research. What's all the boys to talk to each other? I'd love to think there was that little detail.
Is that why I was going to say? Is that why Hood's asking that question?
Yeah,
is it that type of way?
I quite like that pick. He's just gone for Ben Zabini, and I think that's a decent fullback. To be honest, I think he's got a lot about him. I quite like him.
4.25 million as well, with 94 million left and 9 players. So he's balanced out a little bit there. So he's got 10 million a player at least. Put some bargains and balance that out that way.
I love his kit as well. If nothing else, I'd buy the jersey.
Over to Tim. Camavinga's coming up. Camavinga, will be in a database. Will he develop quick enough? I don't know why I went South African, but there we are.
Irish? Alright, fair enough.
Yeah. Owen's here for accents impeccable as always.
Yeah, no, exactly.
If you went Irish, it's less offensive. It's just stereotypically South African. I don't know about the Camavinga pick. You see him as a utility pick a lot, but I don't know. It feels like, again, Emre Can is still out there. And like Camavinga's 13 million. Like, he's not super cheap. I mean, mentally he's good.
I think there's better options out there. Like you say, as long as there's somebody like an Emre Can still on the table, you can't justify spending £30 million on a Camavinga.
Who doesn't love a bicycle kick, if nothing else?
So I'm enjoying the chats in some of these. So Hood and Goofy George's now in there, joining in. Looking at Kai Havertz, discussing at the moment. He's picked up Nabil Fekir. Have you got a left-footed free kick taker? That's how detailed this is going now on his side of things. I mean,
you go Aaron Cresswell.
Yeah, no, just having both sided. Exactly, I mean, I don't know about Alexis McAllister, to be fair. I picked him up in some offline saves. He's been terrible. I can't find the position to play him in. That might just be my managerial ability, but I think he's a bit of a fraud. He doesn't have any outstanding attributes, and it becomes a bit telling.
If I can't get a song out of a player, it's absolutely 100% that player's fault. It's nothing to do with me.
Cool.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Hey, they don't call me Rich DF Tactics for nothing, boys.
Actually, we're talking about left-footed free kick takers. I can't believe Payet hasn't been taken yet. Like, the way I discovered Payet is because Rich absolutely destroyed me in a wasted possession group, I believe, back in the day with him.
Fantastic.
So Diego Malin's gone for Stinger. So good 5 million budget pick as a striker. And then Zambo Anguissa has gone for Dupe.
It does feel like Dupe has gone away and studied who are, good, solid value picks in the draft. Whereas before he kind of used draft from his in-game knowledge, like his solo game knowledge. Like, he's now got some classic draft picks with Owen Windal and people.
I was going to say, has he used the fabled showdown Andrew stat sheet that's just got everything about everything ever in the history of ever on it, and researched that before he went to bed all the past few nights.
No, I mean, probably not.
I was going to say
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh,
Now Dan
Wesley
might have,
Fofana has gone for Breezy. Leicester centre back. I think it was one of them. He's gone a bit under the radar on this game because he's injured, obviously in the main thing. But some people started picking him up quite a lot because he's got a bit of pace and a bit of power as a centre back.
Yeah, he's quick and he's strong, which are two metrics that I know a lot of people look for in centre backs, especially in PvP. So you can see him being a comparatively attractive option for sure.
yeah. His only drawback is his middle name is Sicknote. He tends to, in drafts, I see him get injured. Now it does feel like if you go into just a draft engine, injuries in red seem to occur a bit more often. So maybe in a database he'll be a bit luckier. But it's a risk. It's one of those. It's like picking up Spinazzola. Phenomenal player if you can keep him on the pitch. But permanent sick note.
Biscuit legs.
There we are. There it is.
I think it's Biscotti in Spinazzola's case.
I think it's actually Garibaldi shins, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
Viking Dan's on goalkeeper hunt at the moment for his
Plenty
pick.
of them out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone for.
He's gone for a Dan. Dan's gone for a Dan. Yeah,
He did.
So there we are. He's picked up Edson Alvarez.
That was a very, very specific pick. He typed him in, got him, and knew exactly that that's what he wanted at that point.
Credo's got Kepa on his screen. Another bargain pick about to go, so there's only one left.
Come on, Credo.
He better go, Rich. I mean, I'm not going to turn up on Friday if he doesn't. So.
If he doesn't, I'm going to burn this whole place down.
All right, lovely. I think the Sun's going to do that anyway, so it's fine. Yep, he's picked up Kepa.
Yeah,
that was
Credo picks up Kepa.
Over to Breezy. Breezy, has he got a keeper yet? No.
No, he has not. He's been. I'm watching his stream while we're chatting as I'm following him, and he's jumping back and forth from different positions. He's obviously got some of the players he likes. So he's currently searching left back, centre back, and then he's gone back, I think, to striker just again. So he doesn't know what he wants here. He knows players he likes, but he doesn't know which one he wants to take next. He also infuriating. He doesn't have the have they been drafted yet filter on.
Also infuriating that we didn't actually follow him. So there we go. We got away from him.
Oh.
So Duke's picked up Madueke. Aaron
Cresswell went for Breezy.
There's your left side free kick taker. What a boy.
And he's trying to come back to us to watch us, but he's obviously not turned his ads off or bought Twitch Turbo. So there we are. His loss. Round to Stinger. So we'll
maybe
do
he's
this
in the
round of
market for
picks.
an audiobook.
I think we all are, apparently. I mean, every time I log on to Twitch, especially your streams, Rich. I pay good money and I still get ads. Oh,
Mine's always
going for
Coca-Cola.
Schick.
What's about me?
Patrick Schick.
Yes. Patrick Schick has gone. Big meaty forward.
Can anyone get a song out of Patrick Schick? I always see him picked as like, oh, I need to bring someone on the 80th minute because I'm a goal down. And I never see him do anything. Is he living off a good Euros competition just like...
Sebastian Haller's just gone for Murph FM. Horrible news about Haller yesterday. I mean,
Indeed.
the best in his recovery. I mean, a big move for him, and then to find that out. We're getting a massive raid in from Zimsula. I mean, we're getting I think we can tell it's a raid, guys. You don't need to put it that much. Yes, we know we've been raided. Yeah, I know.
Go on, the boys.
Yeah. Cheers, Zim. Yeah, lovely stuff.
Welcome, everyone.
I think I'm going to make a prediction here that Tim Lewis is going to pick Dan Burn.
Okay.
And he has. There we go. See,
And
there you go.
there you go.
I am
Dan
so
Burn,
happy.
who lives next door to Super Penguin, obviously famous.
Exactly, yeah.
By next door, he means down the road and around the corner. But yeah, next door. So,
I mean, Tim was for a long time hovering Mad's, is it Roerslev, the guy from Brentford? And I was like, is he a Danish fan or a Brentford fan? At least Dan Burn makes sense in the match engine. I was like, I think Mad's, along with Vestergaard, some of the other people he was picking up, there seems a lot of Danish and Brentford players he was hovering. Interesting, though. That, like, Dan Burn doesn't have the raw ability that you'd expect for someone who's going to be good at corners, but he is 6'7", and you can't teach that, as they say.
You can't.
no. How Torres been looked at by...
Yeah, he's just got him.
38 million, so that puts him down to 57.
There goes a big chunk of his remaining budget there. Yeah, that's a bold move. Some big budget picks coming up for H2 now.
I like it, though.
He's got his pad out.
He has.
Gosh, it's really hard to see on that camera. I mean, I can
Yeah,
look, but
that could have been a lift. That could have been a short list or a ransom note at this, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
yeah.
It's interesting that he's written "ask stick" that many times for so many positions.
He's typed in Castrovilli, so that's
that isn't a bad choice.
an interesting
Not a bad choice at all. Is he going to be the person that's... Yeah.
4.8 million as
rate.
well, not too bad budget-wise. So
Yeah,
he's
18
going
work
for
rate
him.
at 16 determined.
He's going for him.
That's smart.
You love the work rate and the traits, is all he has.
Yeah.
I love the commitment to spelling his name right, which is, a big reason that I have never and will never draft him.
Yeah, a lot of Dan Burns, Keppas in your draft.
Yeah. Anything
It's
over
quite
5.
difficult for Rich. Rich keeps spelling him keeper. He gets really confused. Why was there so many of them? Yeah, I was going to say.
It's true. They just loads of them keep popping up. It's a mystery.
Oh, he's still going to go for Mads. Tim, I backed you to maybe cause an upset here. What are you doing for me, man? Vlahovic and now this. Kimpembe. Oh, it's all going wrong.
I've got a feeling your fraud pick of Lionel Messi's probably safe at the minute, Rich.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah. Unless anybody here is going to ask the board for more additional transfer funds, but it's unlikely they're going to say yes. So I think Messi is safe. King of Fraud FC, captain, chairman, owner of.
That's
Brandon Williams for Murph. It's an interesting one. Obviously, he's really quite cheap, but he's a bit of a hothead, isn't he?
Yeah, there's better left backs at that price out there, definitely. Can he play a right back as well?
He covers both.
Yeah.
He definitely does cover both. That's
Honestly.
the reason. That's definitely the reason.
He gets
to
up
bring
and
him
down
in.
the pitch as well. He's get further forward as a trait. I actually think, in real life, I love him. I think he should have stayed at United just to kick some arses in the locker room.
Yeah,
Stinker's
But
got
he's a walking
164
red
million left. A big pick's about to happen. There we go, Bernardo Silva.
Yep.
That's a very big pick for him.
That's a very good pick.
Yes. So Bernardo Silva or
About
Luis
Alberto.
Alberto.
Yeah, he's got a couple of interesting guys in that midfield.
Zaniolo as well. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he might go one up front and then he's got a couple of pace and then Schick to change. I mean, those four midfielders.
My bold prediction of Dan taking Benzema, he's only got 96 million left. I thought we might see a couple of big splashes at this point from a couple of people. Silva being the first of them.
Nandez, right wing back. I love how Dupe has explained his every single pick. It's quite nice.
He's used to
He's just saying how hot he is. He's just like, I'm so hot. Like, nobody realised. Why are we drafting tonight? Why couldn't we hold it off till tomorrow? I mean, it might be along those ways. Who knows?
I agree with him either way.
Yeah.
At this point, I do.
Some people are sweating so much on the stream, it might as well just be a hot tub stream at this point. He does look very animated. He's the one picking drafts.
Yeah.
Like, how is he upset with himself? Is he giving out to himself?
There we are. Nandez has gone.
Nandez.
So over to Breezy. I can see a Breezy pick. Let's not get distracted.
He's been looking at striker since his last one. He was going back and forth between a left back and striker for his last pick. Then he picked Cresswell. He's
He's
highlighted a few
panicked
people.
because he's not got a goalkeeper now. So
Yeah.
75 million left.
Although I think the same person that was in his chat earlier recommending Wan-Bissaka is now asking if Solanke has gone yet. So whoever that is, they definitely want him to lose.
Yeah, there's somebody also recommending Adam Smith as a right wing back. I mean, yeah, it's
Wow.
just like
Can we
people
get a
maybe
welfare
don't like
check?
him. I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, can we just check that some of Breezy's chat are doing okay in the heat this evening?
There must be Stinger fans or something in there. Just a little lower down rivalry.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a great choice potentially for goalkeeper in young Schmeichel. He's another one I go to in my affinity and fetish of goalkeepers.
Yep. And he's gone for Casper Schmeichel.
Yeah. For
It's
11.25, it's a great value, isn't it?
Can't believe Ramsdale is still there.
No, me neither. He would be mine.
Or Mesliers, when you see people use a lot. These are all people like I've used all of these, and they never lead to a mistake. Unlike Donnarumma, who is goalkeeper fraud.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
That sounds personal experience right there.
Yeah.
Go on
Just
to
noticing
Credo.
here, Credo has got Hood and GYR in his chat, and I can assume he's listening to one of them, so that's nice for GYR.
Poor Hood.
Marty Jannetty.
Check out his videos with GYR. They're very good.
Yes. My favourite was his one that he released with Stick today, the day after Stick lost 3 games in the playoffs in the Super League. It's just like, I hired Stick to help me out. I was like, oh God, he's not what you wanted today. Thierry Correa has gone for Credo. And we'll go to Viking down immediately.
Not one
'cause I
I've
don't think-
used, if I'm honest, Correa.
Yeah. Not the Correa I've used anyway.
No.
So attacking midfield has been looked at by Dan. Wingers specifically. Lamar.
Yeah, and the
Is that-
Correa
is that-
pick. What are we?
Is that a
He is,
50-50
going.
pick, Rich?
I mean, if it was to be fair, I'd prefer if he's going to go Thomas Lamar, I'd prefer his dad Mark, but I don't know if he's in the database.
Wow.
That's one
He's
for
gone
the late 30-year-olds.
I was going to say, that's quite something, that one.
Nuno Santos was his pick.
The playoffs knew what they were booking. They knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the Series 1 of Nevermind the Buzzcocks was great. That was Lamar, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Beto was the striker for Dan. Beto. Bless
My
you.
God. I was stabbed off. That scared the life out of me.
First time sneezing.
It's okay. It only came down your ears, not down the consumer. I was going to call them consumers, the viewers' ears. There we are.
We'll
Right.
get merch out. They can be consumers soon. We'll shit ourselves for a cheap buck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hit that subscribe button. Right. For Rice. So we've gone. Beto was his next pick. We're over to Credo next. Back to Credo again. I mean, Credo has probably learned from last time to keep out the sun. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw those blisters.
Painful stuff.
Exactly.
He might go out there again. 'Cause he like me and my mugging. I might work getting mugged again. Get more interaction on those horrific tweets than you do anything else.
Well,
My ego's great after getting mugged.
It's like generally being a streamer, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So that's good advice for anybody watching. If you're looking to boost numbers on your socials, just mug Owen. Like he'll
Yeah. And then burn me lightly with a ball in the sky.
Nice.
Giovanni Reina for Credo.
So there we are. So we can get to Breezy on time. Don't know where Breezy's budget was. What is he about? 66, I think.
He's in and about that. He's kind of looking for centre midfielders. He's on too many at the minute. He's comparing them to Gerson.
64, apparently.
Yeah, it's a choice of whether he wants to go mentals versus technicals. So it's one of those ones that I've come around to. I always fall into the trap. The technicals are better, but I've come around to the point of you need to start focusing on mentals and physicals because
Yeah.
they're the
Agreed.
ones that lead to less mistakes.
So he's gone for Gerson, 24. old, 4 million, I think he was. So I think the player that he's highlighting now would have been a better pick, but
Dupe's still got 129 million or something, somewhere around there, isn't it? That he's got.
So
That's
yeah, we are
still
in the
quite a
big
bit.
money. The big money zone of Dupe and Stinger. I think Stinger's 114 as well, even after.
And Stinger very
50
much doesn't
million.
have a star on his team. Ward Prowse is the obvious one for drafts, but he doesn't have anyone to, you put your house on him to score or create a chance.
I think one of our panelists might argue differently.
I do. Goncalves and Martial, two of my picks. I'll take it.
I mean, you don't put your house on a bargain pick always.
Oh no, but
to be
Goncalves.
Goncalves is. I would give you Goncalves. He would have been a value pick of mine or in the conversation, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I said, he can work for me, and if I can get him to work, they're very easy to use.
Yeah, give him ball, let him shoot. That's what you do.
Fantastic. Over to Stinger, who's got an ice pack on his head. Lovely. That's what we want to see.
They're all
Perotto.
like different wrestling characters. They look like they're changing outfits. They've got.
Yeah, I know.
So for Dupe to still be going for very, very budget picks at this point, I don't know what he's got planned for his last couple of picks, but you'd imagine they'd be quite something.
Is he going for a Ronnie Ronaldo as a big United fan?
Maybe.
There's a big pick for Stinger. It's a very big pick for Stinger.
Yeah.
He's one of them as well. Diaz, I don't know if I ever find him worth the value for money.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble, I think, but
Donny
Van
van
de
der
Beek.
Beek's got 5 million. Reasonably well spent. Oh, we had a bit of a downgrade on the update. Tim
There's
Lewis got Sissoko, but not the one I
Yeah.
was expecting.
I mean, again, when we're talking about the physicals versus the mentals, he has phenomenal in both strength and stamina. As 16, 19. He'll be in and around hassling players, and 4.8 million. I'd love to tell you what budget he has, but his chat's in the way. So,
I think we remember
looking
this
at
from last time.
defenders for H2 at the moment.
Yeah, Milinkovic has already been advised as an upgrade on what he has, but he's got 52 million. He's now got McKinn's in his stream. I mean, he's... McKinn's raided. McKinn's raided across, yeah.
Still some great players left in the draft. I just see Moise Keane, who lately seems to be popping up and just doing brilliant in every draft I've commentated on.
Yeah.
Can play both sides of the wing.
Yeah.
Couple of people in a couple of people's chats have been shouting Moise Keane as an option, especially as you start to get towards the tail end of the draft.
You can understand why, can't you? He can do a lot for the price.
Yeah. He'll always have a place in my heart as well. Last year's save, he did everything for my Bolton team, so what a man.
So we picked up Milinkovic for H2, and now he's looking at sort of more attacking midfield players.
Shout out to the other debutant, Salty B, who joins the draft next week. His first draft.
Fantastic.
Competitively, so same boat. Could they meet each other in the playoffs? Who knows?
It is a great thing, isn't it? It is a really great thing that we get some newbies that are just starting out and some old hats, as it were, that have been here and done it and won stuff, and chuck them all in a pot and see what happens. And that's the great thing of FM drafting, really. Ivan
Illich has gone for H2, and then Tim Lewis has gone really quickly because he doesn't want to see that he's drafted Luke de Jong. 5 million. I mean,
I believe he had Luke de Jong in the Summer Cup. Luke de Jong was definitely drafted in the Summer Cup, and I can't imagine that anyone else would have drafted him. So I'm going to say that was his backup.
Yeah, Esri Konsa went for Murph. People are wrestling through these picks now.
He also actually has Giroud, as realised Tim Lewis, because I remember, man, he's taken him this round. He moved Giroud to an anchor man at one point to protect a lead, and it worked surprisingly well. He started creating attacks all of a sudden.
Yeah, but if you're that handsome, if somebody just starts running towards you, like you're gonna stop. You're gonna stop and drink it in, aren't you? So it's
close your eyes and go in for the kiss.
Chouameni's gone to Stinger.
Oh yeah, he's picked him up.
That's a really good defensive midfielder pickup, I think, for 4.75 million.
Yeah,
at
definitely.
this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dupe, though, I mean, here we go. He's still got 120 something million. He's going to go big at some point with the likes of maybe Ronaldo or somebody, but
I'd love for him to leave like 70 million in the bank just to troll us. Like, I'd be so mad. Like, for
and still go
days.
through. That would be
Well,
amazing.
no.
It's one of those like threatened things with drafts where you're trying to outwit the draft makers. Like, if I leave a load of budget, do I get rewarded for it, or something along those lines? It's one of those little things that have been bounded about those ideas. Like, whoever gets the most money gets a bonus pick, or something along those lines. It's sometimes people might play it that way as well. It's.
But those are the bollocks, aren't they, really?
Yeah, exactly. If people are going to throw in a random stipulation.
Well, he has now got a towel over his head, which means that he's either really hot or, based on my limited experience, he's playing a lady in a TikTok short.
Or Coolio doing a 90s rap song.
Yeah. Probably more likely, actually.
So again, he went budget on that one. Nathan Collins, Dupe.
Yeah.
So he's
Also,
still not
I was
spent.
not expecting an Irish player to go.
Yeah, big shout out
You know what
for.
Nathan Collins plays.
Yeah, I was going to say big shout out for Duke this week. He's doing Make a Wish 200 week.
Yeah.
There is some big money for them. I think they're looking to get something to about 400 grand. I mean, there's a fair few streamers jumping on with that as well. And actually, just seeing Make a Wish, I've just followed him as well, so that's good to see.
Really cool.
Yeah. Breezy's picked up Martin Forsby. Well, he's
been hovering him since his last pick.
Yeah.
He immediately went there with intent. There was like the last ones he's been thinking and tossing around towards the he wanted.
No. Over to Credo again.
There's still, I mean, there is still quite a bit of money around, isn't there? I mean, even at this point, 40 to 60 million is still pretty good for the last few players that you need.
Yeah.
You can see GYR in Credo's chat there shouting out Emre Can, which is very, very sensible at this point.
Yeah.
Big shout out to someone in Breezy's chats calling out Obama Dele, who's a fantastic libero in the game. If you want to, just get hipster points. Like, as an Irish fella, I wouldn't burn that point.
Yeah.
What a shout. RH Techers must be an Irishman, or an Irish fan, or both. He might need to be both to make that call. So I'm looking at Breezy. Breezy only has 4 midfielders selected so far.
So Credo's gone for Nkuku. He's still got 39 million left.
And then Goncalo Inacio.
Who else has just gone for? Yeah, so Gravenberch was...
Gravenberch, and then Nkuku was back then.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, my mistake there. I read the wrong screen at the wrong time, right. That's Credo.
Oh, I've just seen Stinger looking at Asensio. Oof, he might win it.
I mean,
he's looking elsewhere now, but he was for a second.
Yeah.
Payet's still on the board. It's still anybody's tournament. Anybody's tournament.
It's between Payet, Asensio, and De Gea. Who's going to go? Who's going to win the essential pick trophy?
It's like nobody has ever watched me or Rich cast a game of FM, be it on a podcast, on a stream, on a commentating thing. Like,
have you got a podcast, Rich? Tell us about it.
It's hard to say. Somebody's probably already taken my job this week. So
I was going to say, at this point, it's not Rich's anymore. It's Mr. Diz and myself, I think, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
Bilal, isn't it? He doesn't even play Football Manager. He hates the game, but there we are. It's fine. Shout out to Zaffa Cakes. A very entertaining episode this morning that I listened to.
Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, Jebaru and Kev. Cheers, Owen. Appreciate your feedback as well.
Oh, it's part of my Tuesday mornings. What can I tell you?
Credo is just up and down, isn't he? He's not actually picking anyone.
He keeps going back to Lucas Levitt. He's gone for Lucas Levitt.
He's gone for Lucas Levitt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a bold choice.
I love it.
Simone Zaza's been highlighted. Former West Ham player? Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He was useless there.
Albeit
We're known
briefly.
for the world's worst penalty, right? Wasn't that Zaza?
Yep, exactly. Yep. I was trying not to mention the obvious, but yeah, there it is.
Hey, if there's low hanging fruit,
Every time he comes up, yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's nothing else of note.
Moise Keane alert. It's been mentioned. The Coco's also mentioned in his chat. There you go. Moise Keane's gone.
Moise Keane, yep. It's a really good pick. He's got a lot about him, hasn't he, at this point?
I mean, between Zaza and Moise Keane, what was happening in that chat? What lunacy was going on there?
Okay,
Very
we can play
team.
the is this going to be Dupe's big spend again? Because he's still got 125.
It's got to be the Ronnie play, right? He's such a ride or die United fan.
Yeah, you'd imagine. I'm telling you, Stinger again was looking at Asensio. He's close.
Can feel it coming.
I can
Yeah,
feel
we
it.
just end the stream when somebody wins. That's what happens as well. So much to everyone's
Bingo!
delight.
It dropped. Bingo! I've got all of my players.
Exactly. Duke went for Marcus Rashford, so he has gone for his Man United bias.
Yeah,
Still very hit or miss in the game, but yeah.
I think I'm probably out of the running with De Gea at 27 million. There isn't anyone spending 27 million on a goalkeeper at this point, I don't think.
No.
He's tricked you.
Oh,
he's gone for a keeper.
He's gone elsewhere.
He's gone for a backup keeper. He's gone for a Darrow.
Come on, Stinger. Come
Hold
on.
up. Dupe might be my shout for De Gea. Dupe, if you're listening to me, come on. There's a sub in it for you. I will bribe players. Oh, he's listening. We got a wave.
Mitchell Bakker, Mitchell Bakker has been picked up by Tim Lewis and Miss Murph FM's. It was very quick between the two. Where are we? Nope, still not come up on our sheet. Wait for our guys to catch up. We'll go over to H2. He's looking for Chris Richards. Anyone?
Nope.
Sounds like a local picker. I'll pull him up here. I don't know much about him.
Is he looking for Omar Richards? I don't know. Is he?
I mean, he's an American playing at Bayern. He's solid. He's, I mean,
13,
there he
14. Fullback, yeah.
Yeah, he's nothing special. He brings the ball out of the fence, can play all across the back line, as well as wing backs, both sides. He's okay. You wouldn't want to really... He's an emergency plug and play for injury crisis, I would say.
Murph picked up Skamaka. That was the pick. It was put in his chat quite a lot, so it was very quick to get it.
You wonder who his strikers will be.
Yeah, he's got
Haller,
Isaac, Calvert-Lewin,
Isaac,
Fekir.
Calvert-Lewin. A lot of strikers.
Yeah, a lot of them. Samaka's a different option, but...
I missed the first of the double picks for H2. Was it Richards?
Richards, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Richards,
Yeah.
We're putting that down to H2.
The one that
North
everybody knew
American.
about.
Yeah, it's actually not something that's been commented in his chat. Now looking at Unai Lopez. 900k. I mean, it's a saving option. There's somebody listed on there for 500k as a money saving option, isn't there, Rich?
There is. I think they'd be stupid not to pick them.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got Haaland and Seaman. They'd be perfect backup for him. So
He's still got 18 million left for 3 picks, so he's not doing too badly.
he's gone for Toonstra.
Tonstra. Don't know who that is.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
not
fun
one I've
name to
used.
say, though, isn't it?
Decent kind of, central midfield utility option. Does a lot of things fairly well, but nothing outstanding.
Yeah, his mentality is pretty good. He's 17 work rate, 17 teamwork. He's, again, okay, in a crisis, he can play one of 6 positions.
Mm-hmm.
Both-footed.
Sander van der Streek. Is this going to be a Van der Streek for Tim Lewis with his drafting competitions? I mean...
It is. Sander van der Streek.
That was very good. I liked that.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a stretch there, to be fair. I'm not a fan. He's from Utrecht, which is where I believe my mug was from because I bought a ticket to Utrecht with my car.
Maybe it was him.
Maybe it's Van the Street, the bastard.
Murph FM's picked up Rob Holding. There you go. Bolton shout out for you.
There you
One
go.
obligatory Bolton player.
Yeah. Can somebody check Van der Streek's player traits for does crime? Because we might be on some. We could be on something here, boys.
Dives in the pocket, so mine tackles.
Come on, Stinger. This time, Asensio. Come on.
44 million.
Oh,
Here we go.
Come on. You can do it.
Yeah.
You know you want to.
To me, to you.
Yeah.
Stop drinking. It's not that hot.
You're being dramatic.
Pick the player. Pick the player, Stinger. Come on.
Oh, he's not gonna. He's moving away.
There's a poll currently going on, guys. Which panelist has been most on the money tonight?
Let's vote for myself.
I'm at 0%. This is absolutely
I cannot believe someone else voted for me.
I can end this stream, guys. I can end it.
Big dub. Someone else voted for me, even by accident. I will take it.
I don't need to say anything. It's fine.
How does I've not seen the poll, but how does it feel to be top fit, Kev?
Yeah, no.
And
What can I
just as
say?
Rick Jones took the lead just before I said that.
He's moved away. He's moved away.
FM
He's gone
playoffs
defensive midfield. He's Cataldi.
I mean,
The FM
can I
players, I was voted for Kev, so just saying.
point out that the rest of the panel didn't think a keeper was essential for a game of football. That feels like a mistake.
Yeah, but you thought two keepers were essential.
In our 3-a-side teams, I'd still back mine.
3-a-side where your boys are just constantly switching wing and hoping someone else wins the ball.
It confuses them, let alone everyone else. It's fine. It's what we do.
Right, Dupe.
Please, the hair. Come on, Dupe. This is a big
it's
time
not
to make it. I
happening.
know
He's
what I'm
picked
talking
up a
about.
bargain keeper. He's just picked up Verips, is it?
Yes.
Yes, Michael de Verips.
What are you going doing with all your money, Dupe?
It's an interesting one.
I love how myself and Kev are just growing an irrational hatred for Stinger and Dupe independently because we're backing them both to put us out of a fire
For
here.
goodness sake. One of you, sort yourselves out. Breezy, 29 for 2. He's gone Mepham.
Chris Mepham. Musa Dembele's gone for Credo, so over to Viking Dan. Kev's well out in front in this poll, by the way, now.
Yeah, I stopped talking about it very quickly.
I still don't feel the need to talk about it. It's fine.
No, that's fine.
You mentioned nice humble guy. What has happened?
The heat. It's the heat. It's got to me.
Yeah, sure. I've got a vote, guys. I've got a vote. The stream's staying on. The stream's staying on.
Let's go.
Might be from Mozza as well, so that's worth 10 votes. Vladimir Kufel's gone for Viking Dan. I didn't see his pick before that.
He was almost going to be one of my bargain picks, Kufal. I think he's really good for his value at 4.25.
Fabulous right back. And it's one of the weaker pools of players
definitely.
in such a big draft.
Agreed. Yeah.
Plus, he's just like a hipster's dream in real life to pick as well. Like, what a player.
Where are you going next, Dan?
Dan's gone for his double pick very quickly. I'm just waiting for them to be input.
How am I to jump into Duke's chat and start spamming?
Oh, I missed the first one.
DDG.
Alberto Moreno was his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Better in game than he is in real life. So, that's yeah.
Speaking of better in game than he is in real life, can we talk about how Chris Mepham always seems to go to Barcelona and like be a Ballon d'Or contender every year?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I
think Chris Mepham's at Breezy's Brighton on his actual Twitch save. So
he must be related to Miles or something. There's something going on. It makes no sense.
Yeah. I'm getting some shade in chat here. I've told you, I'll end the stream, guys. It'll be all over. Also, shout out to my really old headshot in the bottom right corner. But curry up and pick.
Domination in the chart with Kev winning 43%. Rich with 29, myself with 21, and Jeb with
People
7.
know. Just people know.
I mean, to be fair, Rich got 4 votes to his a podcast voting for him, his boss voting for him.
Hey,
Tony would never vote for him.
There's no guarantee Tony voted for Rich.
there's a certain number of people that are watching this stream that are just, that they appreciate what I bring to the table, which is just wild opinions based on nothing. And
so Breezy went back and got Zaza, just so you know.
What? I mean, I know he's a West Ham fan, but there's better West Ham strikers in the pool.
Dupe. I knew Dupe wouldn't let me down. Dupe.
Asensio's gone. So your winner of the poll and the winner of the essential selection
Imagine he's thrown away
is the United City FM. Well done, Kev. Anything to say?
I think it's going to be Dupe that wins it. He's got 3 of my picks.
Did he take 3 of them, did he?
He got Martial, who's my budget, and he got Goncalves and Asensio.
I didn't even check who got mine. I just was happy that they went. I didn't look like an idiot. He's got one of mine with Ward-Prowse.
What's Stinger doing? Stinger's looking for defenders at the moment.
Yeah, it's still floating around the same one.
Diego Carlos.
He's highlighted him a lot of times. He's still got 25 million left with 2 picks. So
yeah.
Right, over to Murph, hopefully. Ooh, cards changing. My screen isn't changing. There we are, lovely. He's got 15 million left. Who's got not very much money that could do with a 500k target, man? That's the big question.
I think they're all doing pretty well, aren't they? I haven't seen anybody really that low with a couple of picks left.
Leeds' Mark Rocker has gone for thingy. Just moved over, hasn't he, from Bayern?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Third bottle of water.
I'm surprised, actually. One of the classic picks in drafts is, speaking of Leeds, is Meslier. And he hasn't gone. There's a lot of keepers that you see drafted that haven't gone. Then you're seeing some people I've never seen drafted in goals going.
Yeah.
Sandro Martinez has just gone for Tim Lewis. It's not a bad pick. He's had better picks recently. He's had worse picks recently.
It's a really interesting conversation about his height, isn't it? Sandro Martinez, who's just gone to Man U, obviously IRL. He's 5'9", and I saw a post earlier that suggests so was like Baresi and Puyol and Cannavaro, and you think, well, okay, not such a problem, maybe.
I think if you look
at Haaland, though, I was going to say.
Yeah.
But the number of, I think I saw something about the number of aerial battles that he was winning last season at Ajax. He
dominates everything. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
69% versus they listed the top defenders. He's up there in in terms of percentage, whereas all these guys like Diaz is getting 55% and stuff. But he plays like a lunatic. Have you ever seen him play? He plays like a madman.
He's always on the edge, isn't he? Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to see him I want to see him marking Dan Burn on corners. That's what I want.
Like a koala bear on a eucalyptus tree, just hugging him as he goes up and heads the ball.
What have you possibly got against Dan Burn? Poor bloke.
Juno Lopez and Meccano have gone for H2. They're his final 2 picks. That's
of course,
him
everyone
done.
gets Meccano eventually, usually at Christmas, right? Thank you.
Sorry, I was doing old jokes about Texas. I mean, you're doing jokes about 1964 now, but there we are.
Next we'll go with Connects, the 90s classic version of Meccano.
Yeah.
Dele Alli.
Dele Alli's gone. Tim Lewis. I'm not sure Tim Lewis picked up there, so we go straight up to Stinger, who has 25 million to spend on his last pick. Oh no, last 2 picks.
Second last pick, yeah.
Come on, Demi Payet. Go Demi Payet. Just forego the last pick. You don't need it. You don't need that last pick.
I don't think it's going to happen looking at those attacking midfielders he's already got.
He only has 3 midfielders. Still. Oh no, never mind.
No, there's a few in there.
Yeah.
Payet would be all of his budget, so
Oh, he is looking at him. He is.
I mean, Payet is worth it. He is worth it.
Oh,
He's got him.
Rich Owens is second to the line.
I'm changing my vote. Stinger's winning this. Patrick Schick is going to be top scorer. It makes sense now. It was a plan all along.
The Dupe's changed camera. I mean, he's come to a different side of the screen.
It's colder on that side of the screen. It's like the other side of the pillow.
This is Dupe's existential crisis camera, by the looks of things so far.
Okay. How much has he got left? He's got 72 million left.
Yeah.
I love how he's doing the footballer thing of I don't want the cameras to lip read me, so I'm going to cover my mouth and talk into the mic.
Oh, here we go. No, maybe he was there.
It's got to. I'm calling it. It has to
He's
be.
done it. He's done it. He's done
There
it.
it is.
And you said I had no idea when you voted for me in the poll. I called this out 10 picks ago. We did a poll.
Breezy.
Ronaldo's a fraud, right? We're all agreed on that in draft shortly.
I don't know. I love the insight that we got in the chat there that unfortunately is now completely wrong. Is decided between Zapata and Vardy, and he's gone for Ronaldo. So it's
in many ways,
Zapata,
Ronaldo
Vardy.
is
Oh, Ronaldo! Yeah, it's almost
Ronaldo is the
single
Portuguese
draft
Vardy.
anyone's been in. Mark Noble. He's gone for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Actually, Viking Dan said that would be his first pick. He lied to us. I mean, we do need to address that in our interview afterwards. So after this, we are going to speak to H2 and Viking Dan once we've gone through all the squads. Alexander Mitrovic for Credo. A Viking Dan with his last two picks. He's got 25.5 million as well. Same. John McGinn.
John McGinn.
Iniesta.
Oh, look, there's Muzzer in the chat. He's alive again. But yeah.
Everything's fine.
I hate Dan's colours for his stats. It really upsets me.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. How can you tell anything? Like, oh, I only just like anything over, is it 16, 17 is a threshold to go yellow? It's not even... Oh.
Yep.
You just say stats.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, soccer stats. They're soccer stats.
He's that mortified by the colours, he just couldn't cope.
Yeah.
Glad you got
I
mugged.
use salaries by annum as well, just to really trigger people.
Oh, God. Yeah, next you'll be doing it in dollars like Zealand. How dare he?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good midfielders he's looking at in terms of combative ones, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. McGinn is one least likely to get sent off, I would say. He is really like putting thought into this.
He is.
Yep.
And then immediately changing with it.
Got 2
Cagliardini.
picks. Yeah.
What have we got? 30 seconds left. He's plenty of time.
There's still a lot of money out there.
Gone for
Vitinha.
Vitina, yeah.
So
Go on.
while we're going, Breezy's going to come up
Spare
in a second.
goalkeeper. Yeah.
Breezy's looking at goalkeepers here. There's a heated debate in the chat now who's going to go for here.
Andy Carroll's still there, though. And Breezy, with his West Ham bias, he's very upset when McKinn's traded him in. I can't remember who McKinn's traded him in for. It wasn't very good, was it?
No.
Was it Payet, actually? Sorry, yeah. No, it was Shaqiri. It was Shaqiri. It was the big man, little man swap, unfortunately.
I can't believe it. Yeah, how dare you?
Yes.
So the comparison here is... it's interesting watching Breezy stream. The confliction in his face. Confliction is definitely a word I didn't make up.
What a word it is.
It exists.
It gets the point across.
Let's go jump over to Breezy. We'll have a quick look.
So he's currently between Summer, Ramsdale, and Casillas as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. Kepa's still there.
Ariola's not a bad shout as a West Ham.
No, that's true. That's the only reason he's on the short
Still
list.
sat there. Yeah. We'll go to Credo because Credo's got a pick to do. Don't think he's got a plan here. Seems to be scrolling and just there's a name, I'll pick him out. That type of way.
I'd say he got Mitrovic last round. He hasn't had a plan for at least a round.
Would any of you guys not pick a second keeper?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be second keeper is essential, and since then I've kind of abandoned that idea completely.
Mm-hmm. I've not seen that many keeper injuries. I mean,
I've not seen a keeper injury in-game keeper injury for a long, long time, and I don't think I've seen a goalkeeper red card in years.
This cycle, yeah.
Even going back further than that, I can't remember the last time I saw a straight red card for a goalkeeper.
It's
ever.
not
since the old Chapman games.
Yeah, the database format, it definitely makes the training injuries more likely. So that might make me do it. But if I was to do it, it would be I'd burn $500,000 and I'd get Gavin Bazunu because he's Irish and not terrible.
No, he's very good. Yeah.
So Credo's he's looking for Fred. He's looking for Fred. Don't know which Fred he's looking for.
Been looking for Fred for ages.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He's surprised how
Got
expensive
12
Fred
million
is.
to spend. Yeah, exactly.
Travers is better than Bazunu, but he's pricier. Madeline, he's also a good shout. Actually, the three Irish goalkeepers are good. Keller is not a bad shout as well.
See where Breezy's got to on his
Panic on Credo's face. The absolute
terror. Whereas Breezy's just sat there waiting. I think he's decided. There we go. Lanzini's gone for Credo.
Yeah, Breezy's reserved on his final pick. He's happy. Chat might continue though.
No, he's changed his mind.
Okay, no, never mind. He's now in agony. He was so confident and sat back. I'm going to turn on the sound here and see what he said.
I'm just going to put Andy Carroll in his chat.
He has Dan in his ears saying, like, he's asking this keeper, and then Dan goes, I could get John McGinn. He goes, I could get John McGinn. So
You got Castiles, unfortunately.
Oh, the most boring of the three picks.
He didn't go for my suggestion, which has just appeared in his chat, so never mind.
Yeah.
Right, on to Dupe. He doesn't have that much money left, but he's not had that much spending as he's been going along anyway. 1.8 million.
Enough for an Andy Carroll.
Yeah, exactly.
For 3 Andy Carrolls, in fact.
Yeah.
And a bag of chips on the way home.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm on Stinger's stream. He's coming up next. I think he's purely been looking at players that are about 6'7" and over, just to see who's available, something like that. I think that's what he's basing his last pick on.
Well, if he goes a couple of inches smaller, there's a forward for 500k.
Bazoa for Dupe.
Zoa and over to Stinger.
Tim Lewis is lining up a backup keeper here as well. I'm watching him in the background, so I think he's decided on his pick.
Leonardo Seri for Stinger.
Murph. Oh, hi, Murph. Has Murph already picked? No, he's back to himself. I have Man United shirt in the background. Unbelievable. No, so I might go off this now. Dwayne Wrench. Oh no, he went for Diego Costa as his pick.
Diego Costa.
Yes. Stojanovic. Tim Lewis.
Yeah, he's been settled on him since Dan's pick, so I think he's going to go with him.
And then we've gone full circle. The last pick goes to H2. Oh, he's looking at. Oh,
Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll.
It's got to be a keeper. It's got to be a keeper. Can't have Bono in goals.
Jeb, get in his chat. Get in his chat now. Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll. Make it happen.
He's certainly not going keeper, is he?
No. Timu Pukki for the memes isn't a terrible shout. Fan favourite. Terrible.
We're in there. We put it in there. We're not influencing, honest.
Yeah.
There we go. Ali's in there as well. This is good.
Yeah, but Ali said you won't be invited back if you don't pick it. It's different. That's the probably coercion.
Yep.
Oh,
Don't go for a sensible
Pukki.
choice of
He's
Spooky,
looking.
maybe though.
No.
Oh.
Don't do it.
Oh, Mal's in there as well. Also, shout out to Mel, Statline, WX Andrew, and Ali tonight. They've been working behind the scenes on socials and inputting all our players for us. Yeah. And also jumping in at the chats to tell people to hurry up or slow down as we need to.
A knob.
Yeah.
Or in this case, pick Andy Carroll.
Yeah. And Timo Pukki is the final pick of the draft.
It is.
So that is where we've got to. Let's go back to our four things. Yeah, I know, we did it. We got through it. A little bit longer than expected, actually. I mean, those 2-minute picks, I think some people took the full 2 minutes, so it works quite well. Initial thoughts before we look through the squads. Who's done well, who's done terribly? Rich?
I would say, looking at the squad that Dupe has drafted, compared to the squad that I know that Dupe was looking to draft, I think he'll probably be quite pleased with what he's just done there. Also, I can't look past Stinger, who's drafted Dimi Payet. So for me, both of them have done exceptionally well at drafting this evening.
Lovely stuff. Owen?
There isn't any outstandingly big loser, which isn't always common in these drafts. I'm impressed by H2's draft. I like what Dupe has done. Eventually kind of pulls out with Ronaldo pick, as much as I think Ronaldo is a bit of a fraud. Ward Prowse lots of chance, and Viking Dan has done what Viking Dan has done. He's just done, clever, versatile pick. Even if he did pick an American who will cause trolls to come on Friday. So, I think H2 is the winner for me in terms of the best draft, personally.
And Kev?
It's all about the dupe, about that dupe, about that dupe. Yeah, I mean, he's Goncalves, Asensio, Martial. I can't knock back him, can I? I think Dan has done a very Dan draft, and I think he's going to be very dangerous and problematic to everybody in terms of the results he gets. I like aspects of most of them, as has been said. I don't think there's a hugely weak one there particularly, but yeah, Dupe, go for it.
Lovely stuff. So let's have a look at some of these completed squads. We will start off with Big Sam Credo. First pick was Immobile, followed it with Alexander-Arnold, Tielemans, Handanovic, Kanate, Vestergaard, Bartra, Riegel, Mariba, Rodriguez, Guri, Kepa, Rendell Correa, Rayner, I think it's Gravenberch, but Gravenberg we'll say for now, Lucas Leiva, Dembele, Mayoral, Mitrovic, and Lanzini. A heavy Premier League bias on there. I'll start with Mr. Credo expert himself, Rich. What's your thoughts?
So it's a mixed bag. It's definitely a mixed bag. There's a lot of players in there that I really rate highly. I love Yuri Tielemans. I really, really like Kanate. I think Handanovic is a solid goalkeeper. Immobile, Fraud FC, quite possibly. He's one of those, isn't he? He's one of those. I don't know. There's some players in there that are great, and there's some players in there that I would question. Picking up a player like Vestergaard so early, you've got to wonder why. Somebody like Julian Weigl, you've got to wonder why they've gone so early when there are significantly better options in both positions available for similar kind of prices. It's that for me is it's all right. It's not terrible. It's not an absolute stinker. There are some solid players in there, and I think based on his previous kind of PvP experience, he could do well with it. But I think aspects of it could have been a little bit stronger.
Of course. And we're going to run through them, probably go through them in a bit more detail on Friday before the game, because I think we are eager to cool ourselves down, get some more drinks. So we'll go straight on to Breezy. Martinez was his first pick. Tellez, Guimaraes, Tony, Gvardiol, Mancini, Mukiele, Poulsen, Hateboer, Basuma, Fofana, Cresswell, Schmeichel, Gerson, Forsby, Moise Keane, Metham, Zaza, Mark Noble, and Casteels. Owen.
I like a lot of the draft, but it's a confusing draft as well. Like him and Credo's first 11 doesn't pick itself. He has Tellez, he has Cresswell. There's a competition there. He has what's the defense going to look like? I don't know. He doesn't have maybe a star. Martinez up front can be hit and miss. I like his keeper. I like Fofana. There's a lot of good picks there. But then other ones I'm I know it's Mark Noble and Zaza were picked because he's an Irons fan, but in an 8-game or an 8-team league, you're going to need to use all 20 players at some point. And if you use Zaz on the pitch for more than 10 minutes, like, it's going to be not a good draft.
Lovely stuff. And then on to Stinger. Talk through Stinger's draft. So Souček, Aubameyang, Luis Albertus, and Juice, Zaniolo, Badiashile, Niakate, Bijlow, Livramento, Miranda, Malin, Schick, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, Chumani, Uderero, Cataldi, Diego Carlos, Dimitri Payet, and Sherry. Kev, what do we think?
I think there's a lot of positives in terms of work rate and workmanship in midfield and other and stuff like that. The thing that worries me, I think, the most is exactly where the goals are going to come from necessarily. I mean, Aubameyang was a first pick, first couple of picks for him, so he's obviously going to put his marker down for him. There's a lot in there that I like. I don't know whether much of it blows me away. I don't know. But yeah, goals, maybe we'll find out on Friday where they're going to come from.
Payet.
So, goals, where are they going to come from?
Next up, it's Dupe. James Ward-Prowse was his first pick. He follows up with Torres, Salisu, Højbjerg, Araujo, Concalves, Martial, Digne, Kalulu, Windal, Zambo Anguissa, Madueke, Nandez, Perozzo, Nathan Collins, Rashford, Verips. Sorry, it's spelt like you should say it. Ars Asensio, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Bazoa. Rich Owens, talk to us about that Ars Asensio pick.
It's spelt funny, isn't it? I like it. It's a solid draft. It's a solid draft. I saw Dupe sent me his shortlist, like I say, before the draft started. He's picked up quite a few players off that shortlist that he wanted. I say he's drafting to a system, and I think he's going to be very, very happy with that. There's a lot to like. I mean, Anthony Martial is a great budget pick, isn't he? I think that having seen, knowing the formation he's going to play, knowing the system he's going to play, you can pretty much figure out a first 11 out of it. But he's asked me to not talk about it too much, so I won't say anything more. But I think he's going to be very happy with that draft, and I think he's a contender based on that.
Lovely stuff. Next up would be Tim Lewis. Strange draft. Well, here we go. So started off with Vlahovic, Malinowski, Fabinho, Giroud, Belotti, Kondogbia, Grimaldo, Hakimi, Kimpembe, Neto, Camavinga, Dan Burn, Rorslev, Musa Sissoko, Luke de Jong, Baka, Van der Streek, Martinez, Lissandro, Esposito, and Stojanovic. Owen, obviously Kimpembe aside, what do we think?
Watching this, in the words of Roddy Keeley, life is a roller coaster. So it started off not great. Like Vlahovic, Malinowski, they're fine. Fabinho, great. Giroud, great. Belotti, pretty good. Kondogbia, Hakimi. Drops down again with Kimpembe. I'm not a big Camavinga fan. Dan Burn, Sissoko. I mean, Luke de Jong, as much of a meme as he in real life, is actually not bad as a late option off the bench for target man. I think it's an okay draft. I think it's a good draft overall. You can see a good starting 11 that's most likely going to start. It'll come down to what system he's playing to get a tune out of Vlahovic, because Vlahovic can pop off. I just think he's one of the harder strikers to set up around. So if he can get him going, I think he'll have a good chance of qualifying. So I think it's a good draft, but not stunning.
Lovely. And we'll come back round to Murph before we go to the last two. So Virgil van Dijk was first pick. Tonali, Calvert-Lewin, James, Isak, Galan, Zagadou, Dimitrovic, McAllister, Valverde, Fekir, Haller, Williams, Van der Beek, Konsa, Scamacca, Rob Holding, Mark Rosa, Dele Alli, and Diogo Costa. Rich? He's got two assistant managers there. I think that was clear. He had Hood and McTyler. So,
I mean, I think before we drafted, he said he's got a system in mind. He's got a tactic that he wants to use. There's a fair few players in that list that semi decent utility players, especially kind of in that midfield. We talked about earlier in the Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for example. You could use him out wide, as an inside forward or like a wide target man, for example. I think, again, it's not a bad draft. It's not a bad draft. The first 11 doesn't necessarily pick itself, but there's a decent one in there somewhere. I think there's enough strength off the bench. Again, I think Murph is going to be there or thereabouts come Friday.
Lovely stuff. And then on to the debutante, which I will get you to talk through, Kev. Haaland, Osimhen, Szoboszlai, Pessina, Bunu, Palhina, Mendes, Lenormand, Elvedi, Dolberg, Benzbani, Pau Torres, Kashvili, Milinkovic, Ilic, Chris Richards, Toonstra, Lopez, Marciano, and Timo Pukki. Boo, not Andy Carroll. But there's a few unknown names in there for me. Obviously, the first two, definitely not. And does it all come down to that?
I don't know. I think what I think is that a lot of it, what he's got is good. I don't know whether it's great, other than he's expecting a lot of goals from his front two, Osimhen and Haaland. And if he can get those scoring, then he's in with a chance. But the problem for me is, can you keep them away from your goal? Because I'm not convinced by his goalkeeper at all. I think that could be a real weak spot for him. So, yeah, they might just have to play let's outscore the opposition. And it could be some really fun FM to watch.
Definitely. And next up we have... Sorry, I've completely gone away from where I need to be. There we are. And finally, we've got Viking Dan. Undefeated, obviously, coming back to defend the title that he never lost, you could say. Started first pick, Tammy Abraham, Aguila, Costa Simicas, Paulista, Mings, Gonzalez, Pulisic. Oh no, I've said his name. Rodrigo de Paul, Benassor, Sanson, Adan, Alvarez, Santos, Beto, Nkuku, Inacio, Alberto Moreno, Kufal, Vitina, and then Marchini. Owen, I'll come back to you on this one.
I think it's a solid draft. It's Dan doing what Dan does. A couple of things that in his first 11, like Tyrone Mings looks like he might start. He is a risk if he's starting as a centre back because he dwells on ball and stuff, but it's a minor risk. I think for me, Dan is probably the draft winner. Maybe Dupe gives him a run for his money. But he's a lot of flexibility, a lot of players that are consistent performers that go for good money, like Moreno, Soufal, De Paul. You never see them, flame out of a draft tournament. So I think it's a strong draft, and there's a reason he's number one.
Stuff. What about yourself? What do you think of this squad, Kev?
I wholeheartedly agree. And the only thing I add on to that in very black and white terms is sometimes it is just about the manager. And I think until Dan is proven otherwise, there's a reason he's number one.
Ouch, that hurt me personally. It's the match engine. It's only the match engine.
Lovely stuff. Whilst I wait for our interviewee to connect in, let's get some predictions afterwards. So I think, are you still all Team Dupe after reviewing the squads? Is there somebody who's had a terrible draft? I think let's look at the bad now. Who's had a bad draft? Rich?
I don't think, not necessarily bad, but not as strong as others. I think, Credo's probably going to fall into that category. The guy knows PvP, and there's no denying that. He's been very successful. But I think compared to some of the other people in the pool who have got stronger teams or have got more playoff experience, for example, his isn't necessarily the strongest that's out there.
Lovely stuff. And Owen?
It's a tough one. I'm looking at Credo does fall into that kind of category. Stinger, I'm not entirely sure defensively how he'll do. Like, he has Ruben Diaz kind of his linchpin of his defense. I'm not convinced by him in PvP. In database, he's a bit different, to be fair. Like I said earlier, there isn't any outstandingly weak one. Tim Lewis went backs to win the thing. He's got Mads, Russerlev. He's got a Kimpembe. So I don't know. I have to back my fraud pick in Kimpembe and say Tim Lewis is going to struggle here. Kimpembe to concede 3 goals to blatant mistakes, I'll say.
So that's a full 180 from you from the initial predictions.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Kev, what about yourself?
I'm going to highlight Breezy because we haven't really talked too much about his squad. And what I would say is, I think there's a real possibility that he could go under the radar here and do something, because I think it's really solid without being spectacular. But Tellez, I think, is a really great buy for him in terms of set pieces, etc. I think Martinez can score goals for you, definitely. Basuma in that central midfield area can definitely rule the roost a little bit. I think, there's a chance for him to go through, I would say.
How's Kev done that then? Pick the loser. Breezy's fantastic.
Because I don't like confrontation. It's just the way it is. And they're all going to be great. They're all going to finish in the top 4. It's fine. No problem. Didn't we know this?
Yeah, apologies for this.
Next week's group are going to have real problems because 8 are going to qualify from this one.
Fantastic. I mean, if you could have splinters anywhere, that's where you are on that side of things. I'm sorry, I'm just there we are. We have H2 sat in with us. We will bring you in just shortly. Just give me one moment. Lovely stuff. Right, let's go across. Cool. So welcome in. How did you find it?
I was shaking for my first pick. I had my water ready. I had my smoothies ready, and nothing could prepare me for the fact that I was on the clock for the first time ever. Honestly, still mind blown that, I get to be a part of this. Appreciate, the opportunity and just being mentioned in the same breath as all of these wonderful content creators. And of course, guys like yourselves who work so hard to bring this quality content to the community. Still in shock. I think it went really well. The biggest thing is I tried to enjoy myself and not get too overawed, and I think it's something I'll never forget for sure.
Yeah, we noted from your chat that you had quite a significant presence for assistant managers in stick piano. I mean,
yeah, he was in there
performance, so we'll see where we go. But yeah. I think the thing that made probably the biggest impression is those first 2 draft picks. Big, meaty, pacey men up front. Probably a lot of people are very jealous of what you've picked there. Is there a plan to use both of them all the time?
Yeah, so the tactic. So I think another reason why stick, because I stream in the North American time frame, and I've been very fortunate to interact with him a lot over my streaming journey so far, which is very short, albeit. But, he's been someone that has watched a lot of the stuff that I've been doing. And so he understands the way I like to play the game and has been a huge, huge resource. Of course, I'll be the first to say he's helped me a lot. But I think the main thing for me was understanding how I want to play. I want to play the same way that I play my stream save. It's the formation I'm comfortable with. It's basically like a 4-3-1-2. So the plan is to use 2 strikers. Having those 2 up top, I think, is a huge component of what we're trying to do. Of course, you have to then sacrifice some solidity throughout the midfield. But hopefully, I think the defense that we put together is probably, is okay. Again, the draft, I feel like, went according to the way I want to play. It's just how it's going to translate on the field now, which is, I guess, what we'll all find out on Friday.
Lovely stuff. Kev, any questions from yourself?
When we were talking through your squad, I suggested I was kind of looking forward to watching you play, because I think it might have to be let's outscore the opposition, because I'm not totally convinced about your goalkeeper. Why did you pick that particular keeper and so high up in your draft order, as it were?
So he's someone that I've used before quite a few times, and I just feel comfortable knowing that's the kind of goalie I get. For me, it was between Bonu and so some of the names that I had on here, just so you guys know. So this, I think you guys saw the sauce that I was constantly showing up, but it was Bonu, Pope, Patricio, Krul, and Onana. And the thing with Onana for me was his eccentricity is a little too high for my liking. You don't know what you're necessarily going to get with him. With Bono, I feel like he provides a similar skill set. I've seen him in the past. He does what I need a goalie to do. He's not, the most sensational goalkeeper, but I wanted to he fits the way I like to play. So in my system, I knew he would make sense, and I wanted to get him on the board early, just so that I was confident in, someone that I've had experience with in that position before.
Fantastic.
Lovely stuff. Rich, anything from yourself?
I was excited when the first pick was Erling Haaland. I was saying it in the pre-show. I will always say if Erling Haaland's on the board, pick him up early. Like Kev said, I think what we're going to be seeing is it's going to be a lot of it's going to be early 2000s Liverpool. You might concede 3 goals, but you'll probably score 6, and it's just going to be entertaining, and that, I think that's the most important thing. And on a completely different non-drafting note as well, it's just really, really lovely to have you along, man. You know, I love seeing new people involved in these competitions. It's such a great showcase for, you know, experienced streamers, up-and-coming streamers. So I think on just behalf of myself and everybody, the rest of the panel, everyone involved in the playoffs this year, we're genuinely delighted to have you along, man. And I'm excited to see how you get on Friday.
I really appreciate it. Honestly, I can't speak. I can't reiterate how grateful I am. And it's such a lovely community. I mean, we all joke around and stuff, but the FM community by far, and anyone who stays in my streams knows this, is, I think, the most wholesome, the most supportive, and the most collaborative community there is. And I'm so honored that I got this chance. And hopefully, you know, I get to keep doing this for a few years.
And finally, I guess I'll unleash Scarface on you, Owen on you. Sorry, should I say?
That is my new name.
I'm
Scarface
shaking.
FM. No, to be honest with you, H2, I really liked your draft. I think it's solid. You know, just meat and potatoes drafts, good picks in there. It is great having a non-Brit join the drafting scene. There isn't many of us knocking around. Someone else will call it soccer and help the cause. But looking through your draft pick, like I said, it is a very good draft. A lot of people you know, a lot of draft stars. But you have one or two curveballs that even we to look up, like Richards. Elvedi isn't drafted all that much. Pookie we know about but doesn't get drafted. Bono. Is there anyone in there, like if you're picking someone to be a dark horse or surprise for you that's, you know, put him on a draft map, is there anyone there you think could be a standout pick?
For sure. I think for Chris Richards, he's either-footed, and I think he's going to be like a versatility player for me. He can play, like he can come in as, you know, a physical center back or even a wing back. The thing with my picks is a lot of people, even in my chat, were surprised by the wing backs I was picking. It's a little different than what I do at Dulwich Hamlet because, you know, at Dulwich Hamlet, not many people want to join the team anyway, so I have slim pickings and I have to work with what I have. I think there's another audio coming through, but I'll keep talking. The thing is, I went with players that aren't really traditional, but they fit the roles that I want to play. So I think Elvedi will be huge, and I think Pookie could come in when defenses are tired, and I think he could probably terrorize a few backlines once they're on tired legs. So I would say Pookie, maybe a Pookie party. I know there was a lot of Andy Carroll pressure going on in chat.
I don't know what you're on about. No, I don't know. That wasn't me. No, yeah.
But yes, I think we'll see a Pookie party one of the days. Hopefully.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully, buddy. Best of luck in your first draft.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Best luck Friday, and maybe we speak to you at the end as well. Right.
Absolutely. Thank you, legends. All right.
Cheers, man. Speak soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
What a nice guy, unlike most of the rest of us.
Yeah. Exactly. Really refreshing. That was actually really enjoyable to do. I think we're definitely going to have a competitor on our hands there. We've got Viking Dan. I just need to queue him up for the interview just now. But I think we've commented. Can he go undefeated again? Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think that this competition is a bit too tough for us on this side of things?
There's one or two people I think are going to have a good crack off him. It's doable. And while he mightn't dominate games, Dan is very hard to beat. He's good at turning losses into comebacks, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And I think it's, like I said, I think that FM Showdown games that we've talked about before, I mean, they've all been on there, Breezy, Dupe, Stinger as well. I think where do you see that rivalry going? Do you think that's going to play a big part? Do you think even all four of them could go through and kind of upset the newcomers?
I think they definitely can. They you know, those 3 or 4 guys definitely can. I don't know whether they will. I think there's a couple in there that might surprise a few, but I mean, the added rivalry is always good, isn't it? The fact that they can talk a great talk, but can they produce it on this sort of stage is always going to be fun to find out. So I really look forward to Friday. But yeah, I mean, the pedigree is definitely there in their squads to go through.
Cool. Awesome. I'm just waiting on Dan to enter the room, and once he's here, we can carry on. He is unfortunately not available, so I think we spoke for everything that we need to speak through. I think we've gone for everything we need to. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Rich. Nice and simple. If you want to plug away of all your wares, obviously the first thing you need to tell us is where you'll be on Friday, and then go from there.
Where will I be on Friday? Hello? What now? Where am I on Friday? I don't know. Jabberoo, Jabbery, where am I on Friday? Am I here?
Here.
Yeah, you're here. Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm here. Right, okay, yes, I'm here on Friday. Come back here. I'll be here. I'll be doing more of this. I'll be doing more talking about things that are happening on screen. I'll be here on Friday as part of the FM playoffs, and I'm very excited to learn that right now. Aside from that, you can find me at twitch.tv/RichOwensFM, at RichOwensFM on Twitter for some high quality FM content and streaming. And also, there's that podcast that I host, Football Manager Therapy with Tony Jameson, at FMT Pod on Twitter, youtube.com/Football Manager Therapy. Subscribe to it, listen to it. It's good.
This has been really painful. Thanks, Rich. also, just double check you're free on Friday and let us know. Thanks, that'll be really helpful.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Anyway, thank God for Viking Dan. Here he is.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Hi, how are we, Dan?
Save us, Dan. Save us.
Yes. Welcome back to the FM playoffs. How are you feeling?
I'm back. I'm here. Who was that guy, by the way? Last time, he's far too handsome to be playing Football Manager.
Isn't he?
You can't be having that. You thought idiot studs like me.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it's far too handsome and far too nice. I mean, yeah.
Right. He's gonna make us all look bad.
Like
yeah.
Superman from the old Lois Lane Clark Kent TV
Yeah,
show. No, have
exactly.
you not seen it? Okay.
Don't invite him again.
Give it 6 months. We'll wear him down. He'll wear him.
Unbelievable.
Wow,
So,
lads. Christ.
yeah, very warm. Very, very warm.
Sorry if you hear me
I
sloshing
think-
around. It's not my foot bath. It is my bollocks. So,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Cool, we go from nice, wholesome content to Viking Dan. Anyway, how did that
I mean, you invited
how
me. You
did
knew
that
what
go
you
for
were getting, mate. Like,
How did that go for you?
really good, actually. Like, I really enjoyed that. It was the draft, like the draft pool's great, obviously, but the budget's so restrictive.
Yeah.
Like you, I did a couple of mock drafts, did a bit of research last night. I was like, do I go for like a really big, like 78, 80 million pound player that like just cripples the rest of your squad? Like, unless you can guarantee you're getting those really good, like those Gvardiol picks or like some Nani Madueke, like the sub 5 million picks that are first team ready. There are some, but there's not a lot of them. Like, unless you can guarantee you're picking those up, then it's a really tough one. So fair play to the guys that have like put big money everywhere.
Yeah, we noticed a pattern emerging with you, Stinger, Dupe, and Breezy. You were all holding on to money for quite a while. I mean, Dupe till his second to last pick with Ronaldo. Was that a tactic for yourself, or were you just trying to pick up those bargain picks for everybody else?
Kinda. Like, I had a big list of. I mean, I got the two players that I sent through. Like, I really wanted. There was a couple of players I had my eye on. It was Gonzalez, who's a great winger for less than 30 million. Really wanted to pick him up, and Rodrigo de Paul, who I think is one of the best midfielders in this draft pool for a third of the price of people that are comparatively, attribute wise. So I picked up those players, and then I tried to pick up players who I'd be happy with in my first team for less than 20 million. And like just kind of stack those up, because like if you just get a load of 50 million pound players, then you're going to hit that budget. But I managed to pick up a few that are like 4, 5, 6, 8 million pound, which gave me a little bit of leeway to spend a little bit of cash, on other players. Didn't plan on going for Abraham really early, but when I saw the big meaty boys go in the first 3 or 4 picks, I was like, I'm going to go for it. I was going to wait till round 3 to pick a striker. Then I saw the strikers go. It's like, yeah, I'm doing it now. So yeah, we got big Tammy in. But yeah, after that, like I'm really happy with it. Like, I did a first, third, second, and fourth choice. No, sorry, first, second, and third, and bargain pick for every position. And I got 6 of my ideal 11 from the first, then 3 from my second, and 2 from my third. So like, I'm really happy with the players that I've got. So I think like I planned pretty well. I think I've got good players that like are really attribute high and value low. So yeah, it went good. It was good. I was like, and seeing some of the players that other people were going for, I'm a bit fuming that I missed out on some of them. Not gonna lie, but like, but like I picked some other good players. Like I said, Rodrigo de Paul, I think he's the sleeper in that draft pool. I think he's such a good player.
Awesome. Kev, any questions for Viking?
Well, I mean, let's go from what you just said then. Who's the player? Which one are you most gutted not to have got?
Strangely, not really expensive ones. So, like I really wanted Nani Madueke. Like I think he's a phenomenal left-footed player for just 5 million quid. Obviously, like Haaland, you know, he's great. But I knew he wouldn't be there. I kind of like clipped myself a little bit with my first pick, going for Aguiar. Well, my second pick actually, Aguiar at right back. Could have gone for Trent. Could have gone for Rhys. They were still available. But I thought I'd save a little bit of money for further down the line. I think it's paid off. Like Aguiar's a fantastic right back, and I think it's meant that I've got a better squad. I was just saying, actually, we're all having a little kind of a bit of a warm down after. Any of those 11 players, any kind of selection of those 11 that I've got. Sorry, any selection of 11 from that team that I've got. Sorry, it's very warm. any 11 of those guys go in the pitch, I'm happy with it. Like I'm literally happy with every player that I've picked up. I think they're all very good players. There's no duffers in there. So yeah, I think I've gone for a strong squad rather than like I'm going to lean on one guy. And I think if I'd have been able to go for like a 70 million player, if I'd have been able to go for a Haaland, it'd have meant that I wouldn't have that squad available. So
yeah,
I'm happy with how it's gone.
Lovely. Rich, any questions for Dan?
Yeah, man. I mean, so obviously coming back in, defending the title that technically you never lost. Having gone undefeated...
It's an interim champion. It's an interim champion.
Interim champ. Having gone undefeated last time, do you feel like you're the scalp? Do you feel like you're the player that everybody in the competition is going to be looking to try and pick up something against, just, you know, based on, you know, you're the number one drafter, you know, PvP drafter in the game at the moment. You know, you stormed the competition last time. Do you feel like, just on top of, you know, just the competitive nature of PvP anyway, do you feel like you're the guy that other people out there are going to be looking to pick up those 3 points against? Because somebody like Owen, for example, if they did that, they'd be dining out on that until, you know, like FM23 comes out. So
I'm a straight edge. I'll have you know, just saying.
I mean, thankfully, you only invite competent drafters, so like, we don't have to worry about that.
I do keep applying.
Maybe. Like, but you say, like, am I the scalp? I don't think anyone's going to be going into any game thinking, like, hoping they're being okay with a loss or a draw. Like, everyone's going into every game wanting to win. Maybe, like, yeah, I'm one in the draft rankings. I've got a title. Yeah, sure. So, like, my name might be a bit higher than everyone else's, but no one's going into a game thinking, I'm happy with a draw in this. I'm happy with a loss. Everyone wants to win every game. You know, everyone wants to qualify. So I think in terms of how serious they take the game, no. But in terms of, like, you know, bragging rights a little bit, sure, why not? You know, I am number one. I am the greatest.
Yep. And
I was like, this is way too humble for Dan. What's that?
and finally, question from Two-Face down there at the bottom.
Okay, it's Harvey Dent, please. No, in terms of, I'm going to get a bit of inside baseball. So watching all the streams, you guys all seem to be having a lot of fun. There's a lot of different characters in there, from like H2 seems very put together, respectable, sensible to yourself.
And the rest of us are scum.
Just you talking about your
I'm just digging below. Like, what am I, the other extreme? Like, I'm a day away from prison there.
You talk about your swashbuckling bollocks. That's charming in its own way. But what was it like? Like, is there rivalries, banter? Like, what was it like in the Discord drafting with those guys?
It was all very friendly, actually. Like, obviously, like the other lowdown guys I know pretty well, but like a lot of the other guys I've not really spoken to before. Me and Credo spent most of the time just sat in the main lobby, just chatting the entire time. It was good. It's like, these things are always great just to meet new people, I think. Like, so it was nice to have a chat with someone new. Everyone else was dropping in and out here and there. Obviously, I was memeing that I was going to take all the West Ham players off Breezy. Didn't quite go. Incidentally, like, I really like his squad. I think he's got a really good squad. If
Zaza, what are you talking about?
I mean, yeah. You're remembering the little kind of like seagull steps, right? The
he did bring it up.
You're
he was the
that.
one who brought it up, yeah.
And that shot that like went out for a throw in, but like also, but
I'm also comparing him to other
like,
players in the pool.
The rest of it, yeah, but the rest of his career is great. And in the game, like, you've got to remember, in the game, I picked Tyrone Mings, for Christ's sake, right? In the game, these guys are really good. Tyrone Mings in real life can't think.
There.
Like,
Luke de Jong was an option. That's a better option if you're going for meme players who are good in the game.
He's not a meme. He's a good player.
Okay,
What you need?
Dan,
This is proving to me why you're such a bad drafter. Okay.
You're being called out here a lot, Owen, in the chat now as well. I think the one thing that I'm a little bit gutted about. It's great that Dupe has joined this side of the draft. We nearly missed out. Your replacement, Cozza Bob, was actually in this group originally, so it was going to be Cozza Bob versus Viking Dan over who was the real player in the last one.
Hand over the Holland wig. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I think it did miss out. Did you think he mismanaged your team, or how do you think that went?
Not really. I think he did pretty well, to be honest, with being dropped a team on his lap at the last minute. I drafted to play a certain way. He played a different way and got it working to an extent. Like, when you draft, you've always got an idea of how you want to play in mind, and it's not even just the shape of the team. You know, it's, are you going to be sitting deep and hitting on the counter? Are you going to play on the front foot? Are you going to be passing? Are you going to be going direct? Are you going to be going straight to a target? But like, and certain players play in certain different ways, and you don't always know how to utilize good players. That if you're not used to playing that way, if you're not used to playing a tiki-taka style football, then you ain't going to be able to get Messi to work, right? Like, and he's the best player in the game probably, and vice versa. Like, if I've just got a load of people who can't pass but some big lads who can edit. Like, I don't necessarily know how to play that direct style of football. So for someone to pick up a team at the last minute and do as well as he did, I think he did a great job.
Lovely stuff. I'm hoping for a Kosovo versus Viking Dan quarterfinal or something as we go further along.
We'll just mud wrestle for it, dude.
Well, yeah, that could, you can do that. Well, maybe not in this heat, because I mean, definitely nothing in this heat again. But yeah, speaking of it, I think it's time to sign off. Do you want to do any shout outs for yourself, Viking Dan? I think it's very simple. No. It's usually Viking. No? Okay. Viking Dan on Google. Just do that. Yeah.
Tune in on Friday to watch me win. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Lovely stuff. Nice and simple. Right, thanks very much, Dan. We're going to sign off and get out of here on the way. Rich, you're not promoting ever again. Right. Okay then, Rich. Attempt number 2. Where are you going to be on Friday?
Here. Right here, hosting, co-hosting. No, it's tradition that people that are co-hosting then just like threaten to take your job. So I'll be here. I'll be here for the FM playoffs on Friday, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Fantastic, Kev. Where can we find you and your wonderful community?
You can find me here on Friday evening, and really looking forward to it. In the meantime, you will find me at the United City FM, both on Twitch and on Twitter. And it'd be great if you would drop by and say hi at some point.
Lovely stuff. And Owen, give ourselves a shout out.
I'll be here on Friday also. You can catch me over on my channel at How We Roll Own. 7 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be there. And you can see Bono, H2's goalkeeper, playing for Treaty United in a Build a Nation save. I also have a podcast called How We Roll Podcast. It's a Dungeons & Dragons kind of tabletop RPG podcast. If you're that kind of nerd also, check that out. And I'm How We Roll on Twitter and all other platforms pretty much.
Lovely stuff. You can catch me, Jebaroo, on Twitch, the Jebaroo on Twitter, FM Playoffs. Please follow us. Please follow us here if you're not already following us on Twitch. We'll be back at 7:30 for the league stage. Hopefully we get 4. Hopefully we will. We will get 4 qualifiers at the end of it for the FM Playoffs. Really look forward to seeing you. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're all off to go drink lots of water and jump in a cold shower. Hopefully not together, but let's see what happens. Anyway, we will leave you there. Thank you very much. Good night.